You have reached the Geek Elite. Good luck.
It's the multiverse, extra timelines, variant selves, despotic tyrants from other dimensions. Well, it can all be quite confusing, but we at Imagine If are here to be your guides. Every week we give you the deep dive on all the new characters showing up on the small and big screen. Then, we also show you the alternate realities we create with the stories you already know about. And don't forget, we catch you up on all the new comic books coming out that week so you don't get left behind. Tune in every Wednesday on your podcatcher for Imagine If on the Geek Elite Media Network. And always remember to geek out.
Welcome, everybody, to We Have Issues, Geek Elite Media show that's about everything literary. Books, comic books, webcomics, manga, and everything else you might be reading. We're here to talk about it. As always, I'm your host, Keith, and I'm joined by my stalwart sidekick, who's always at my side, Josue.
I kept saying, hi, I'm Josue, to the Wonder Girl cover.
Yeah. I am very smitten by her. Like, she's just perfect. We'll talk about her in a bit. Definitely so. As you guys know, we're here to talk about comic books as they come out every week. And we have quite a few to talk about this week, but we always start with a little bit of news. And I have some really, really great news for some things here. First of all, some people have watched Shang-Chi already.
Oh, man.
Because it's debuted.
Yes.
And the one thing, besides the fact that they absolutely love it, the one thing that everybody keeps saying is, do not miss the credits scene.
Oh, damn. I mean, like, at this point, it's like you should. It's like a staple thing to just stay till the end. But, okay, like when it's implied like that. And especially with this one, it's actually not coming to me. Like, if it's that heavy for Shang-Chi, oh, boy.
Yeah, there's apparently a mid-credit scene and a post-credit scene.
Yes.
So, that's cool. So that can give them a chance to do something funny with one of them.
Oh, for sure. It's always going to be a little goof.
And then do a big reveal with the others. So
yeah, like a little. It's always like a little tag, and then like for sure like a little bridge.
Yeah. Also, along with this, I just want to encourage everybody: if you are able to, if you feel safe, go watch Shang-Chi in the theaters.
I know. I'm like really
tempted. I cannot stress this enough. Because it's not available for streaming, This is their test for how movies should go from here. And if it doesn't do well, then certain people can point at it and be like, look, see, Asian characters don't sell movies.
Yeah, no, I have to go.
Yeah, so we are going. Well, you have to go because we're going to be making a special appearance.
I know.
This movie. So we'll talk about that later on.
And I'm also really stoked for it because we love Cosmonaut Marcus, but goddamn, dude, his hot takes sometimes are really spicy and really, really hot takes. I just saw his non-spoiler. I just saw his non-spoiler tweet, and I was like, you know what? And then I actually agree. Not that I agree with it because I haven't seen it, but it gave me hopes.
What do you say? I didn't see it.
It's Shang-Chi is basically a Tekken movie, and not in a bad way.
Nice.
Yeah, right. I was like, okay, I'm in.
Nice. All right, and then so my next bit of news is nothing to do with books, comic books, webcomics, manga, or anything else. But fuck you, I'm talking about it. Reservation Dogs has been renewed for season 2.
Oh God, yes. Oh God, I haven't seen the latest episode, but ooh, baby. Yeah, but oh God, it's just been so good, and it's just been so like I want to savor this one. Because it's just been really sad that they're basically just rushing and pumping out Brooklyn Nine-Nine because it is trying to convey a message there, and they're just trying to sweep it away as quickly as possible with 2 episodes a week and 10 episodes for the last season. And it's really, you can just tell they're really trying to play this one really, really fast. And now the Reservation Dogs that is also speaking volumes in their own show. It's so people should definitely watch this one.
It's incredible. It's one of my favorite shows right now. It's probably my favorite show going right now.
I think so too. I definitely want to agree. Yeah.
And Devery Jacobs has my heart. The girl that plays Laura Dannon. I should be clear, guys. She's 26 years old in real life. I've seen her in a lot of other stuff. They just did a really good job of making her look 17 for some reason. Like, it's weird, but she was in American Gods.
I thought she was 28, but yeah, no, she's definitely...
So it's 27, 28, something like that. She's older. So I'm not being a creep. I'm not talking about a teenage girl. But she was so great in American Gods, and she played one of my favorite characters in American Gods. And from what I understand, I believe it was Neil Gaiman that's like, well, she's going to play that part.
Oh, no.
Like, he straight up said, that's her part. And so there was really no, like, choice there. You know what I mean? Like, so, but yeah, it was really cool. And for those who were curious, she played Sam Blackcrow, who is also an indigenous character. And she identifies as, quote, two-spirited. So, and it's a queer representation is what it is, but it done in kind of like folding in her native beliefs, and the whole story is about native or about religion, about belief. So she played really well into it. And honestly, before I ever saw her, when I read the book, I fell in love with this character. So yeah, and Devery Jacobs is amazing. So yes, watch the show. It's incredible. So we just had to talk about it because I know both of us fucking love it.
Oh, hell yes.
So. All right. But that brings us to the last bit of news, and it's big news here. In October, we are going to get another DC fandom.
Yes.
We personally were underwhelmed by the last one.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I don't care about the Suicide Squad game. Like,
okay, honestly, I mean, as much as I'm pretty okay with them now, I do love that game's representation of King Shark. I love the way he looked.
Yeah. Here's things we can expect there. Aquaman, King of Atlantis, which is a 3-part animated HBO Max miniseries.
Cool.
So it's produced by James Wan.
Oh, cool. So he'll kind of get a sequel.
Yeah. We'll also get some details about the Aquaman sequel, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
Cool.
So we'll get updates on that. We'll get some updates on The Batman.
Right, an actual trailer
for last year, and we still haven't seen the movie. So, also HBO Max has a new animated series called Batman: Caped Crusader, which is going to be created by Bruce Timm, who made Batman the Animated Series.
Ooh.
So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. They're going to talk about the comic books Batman Fear State. We're going to talk about that later tonight.
Okay.
They're going to talk about the Batman Fortnite one shot.
Okay.
That's already wasted more time talking about than I should have. The Bat Wheels, which is going to be a preschool-oriented HBO Max original animated series about a young group of sentient superpowered vehicles to fight crime in Gotham. Yeah. So there's that.
Okay.
Updates on, of course, the CW shows, including Batwoman. Update on Black Adam.
Yes.
Update on the Black Manta comic that's coming.
Okay.
I'm excited because it's written by Chuck Brown.
Yeah, and I saw a variant with by Sanford Green. For a second, I thought it was like something Bitterroot because like the cover just looks like kind of the people in Bitterroot in their armor and just ready to go fight. But it's something Black Manta. It's a cool variant. Everybody check it out.
Yeah, there's a lot going to be there. Just to give you an example, I'm only in the D's.
Okay.
So we're going to stop there. I would be all day reading this shit. But the one that I didn't want to mention is we are getting an HBO Max television miniseries based on the DMZ, the old Vertigo book.
Oh, damn. Cool.
And it's going to star Rosario Dawson.
Oh my God, I'm already in love.
And it's executive produced by Ava DuVernay.
Whew.
Or Ava DuVernay. Ava DuVernay. God, blah, 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 blah. Also stars Benjamin Bratt. Bunch of people I don't know the names of. So, yep. And then just updates about all the other stuff they do. You know, they do so much stuff, so it's a lot.
I think for sure, like also a Shazam update might be also another trailer, an actual trailer. For
Most likely, yeah. But yeah, so a lot going on. We're probably going to do a live. I might just take over the Geek Elite media, or Facebook, or social media in general that day, and just take over, do everything. So
yeah, I'm actually excited for it this time.
Yeah. Any news from you, Josue?
No, the one I had in the back of my head was the DC fandom.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty exciting. We'll see.
It's just like the fact that like we got like this like pretty sweet list, and then nothing was really deconfirmed, like, if you will. And it's like, all right, cool, I can actually be stoked for all this.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, all right, so we're gonna go straight into our comic books.
Yes.
And I'm excited. It's a big stack this week, and there's a lot of finales.
Yeah.
So that might be the theme this week. You know me, I'm always looking for themes. So let's get it started. Not with a bang, but a boom. And we're talking about Boom Studios and their comic books. We have 4 books, and both of us got all 4. Josue?
Yes.
We're going to start with We Only Find Them When They're Dead, number 8.
Mm-hmm.
Written by Al Ewing, drawn by Simone DeMeo, colors by Maria Sarah Miotti, and letter by Anworld. This book is so good. It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. And we say that every time. You know, it's Simone DeMeo. The art is just incredible. And we talked about how this new arc, at least I said, this new arc really feels, it's clicking with me more than the first arc because it feels way more grounded.
Oh, for sure.
And I like that we're getting like a political struggle. The first arc was trying really hard not to tell us anything.
Yeah.
And this one's not holding back nearly as much. So I think it's leading to more of a clear idea of what's going on. I'm really digging this book, and I like the characters quite a bit. I like that there's this real struggle going on, like a real political struggle between the two groups. And in this one, we get to see a little bit of a background of our new main character, essentially. And, where she came from and stuff, which is really cool, coming from that privileged background and such. So, what do you think?
Honestly, I mean, like, it's just like, there's really not much like to say like with spoilers, but at the same time, there's really not much that we can just like see up on the review. It's just except for just like, if you know, because like there's just so much going on. Again, like you said, like the political stuff. So we only start really seeing who's really playing what, who's really playing the role here, and what's really happening. But yeah, sorry. One thing that I did like about this issue in particular was that we got the title card like hella late in the issue, and it usually kind of happens like around the beginning. Mm-hmm. Like some kind of like cold open happens, and then boom, we only find them when they're dead. But this one, it took a while for us to kind of roll with the characters, and I kind of like those long cold opens. So I think that's kind of what it had it going for me for this issue. And then now we're kind of reaching like the end of this arc, so I kind of want to see like what will be like the big holy shit factor for this one. Like, do they really run off with the god, with Malik's god? But at the same time, I like sorry, we do get one reveal on like who really is or what really is that the god that we have left over here. And I was like, all right, cool, but I want to believe more than that, But at the same time, holy shit, am I starting to believe it in some sort of the gods? Like, oh shit, am I not a nihilist? Oh, bad Josue.
Yeah, it's great. It's beautiful. And we've talked about in the past, it's one of those books that you kind of need the whole arc.
Yes. Oh, for sure. Like trade. I honestly don't blame anybody who's trade waiting for this book. It's like, it's a really sweet one. It's going to be one of those like sweet collectibles, but it's a much better trade wait read.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to our next book, Basilisk, number 4.
Yes,
I did catch up on this book.
Cool.
Written by Cullen Bunn, drawn by Jonas Scharf, and there we go. Sorry, I lost my page. Drawn by Jonas Scharf and colored by Alex Guimarães, and letter by Ed Dukeshire. Man, this is a really interesting book. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of funny how we read 2 books this week that have a specific concept as a very dread thing at the end, and that specific concept is a chimera.
Oh, I thought you meant that they're both written by Colin Bunn.
No. Like in this one, it says so that we might awaken the chimera. We're going to talk about that in about 2 hours.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. I get it now.
But I really dug this, and I like how smart her plan was.
Yes.
Like, and knowing that she has to watch every sense that she has and everything, and I thought it was really cool. Also, I almost picked the variant cover, but I'm not skipping that rune tattoo.
I've been waiting for this cover.
It's so sick looking. So,
and especially because I've liked this character from the beginning, or at least like since we actually started to really like roll with him. And it's like, fuck, this could have been almost like a 3-on-3 battle for like the next issue, or I guess like 3 on against like a Legion. But having this guy on this side would have been a much of a help. And God, her rage just got the best of her, and it's like that it hurt, but at the same time, it's just justified because they were monsters. But fuck, I just didn't want. I didn't. Okay, spoilers. Let's move on.
Bad thing happened.
Yeah, bad thing happened. No nos.
All right, let's talk about Magic: The Gathering number 6. I'll show it again.
Yes, Suchi, come here. It was a Ashiok variant this week. I'm definitely gonna go back and get it. We have that Planeswalker card, and it's just like she's so badass.
Yeah. You see it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Thank you, Keith.
Of course.
And that was Sochi's appearance.
Yeah. Written by Jed McKay. Art by French Carlo Magno with Francesco Segala and Iguara with Ariana Consoni. And letter by Ed Dukeshire. So this one completely follows Jaya Ballard. Basically from her young age in Dominaria through the Ice Age and stuff. And basically setting up the big bad that's been like looming over us the entire time. Which is this god that was buried underneath the ice. And the Ice Age is over and the ice is slowly melting and eventually the god will be released. I thought this was done really well. I thought the release of the god was built to really cool and well. And she had like the mini boss that she had to fight the entire time, and not thinking that's the threat most of the time and stuff, and they're slowly like fighting each other for years, not realizing that's not even the real threat. I thought that was really cool.
Oh, for sure.
One of my favorite things about this one is there are so many. Like if you're a Magic fan, there's so many little dumb references.
Oh yeah,
like this one specifically mentioned the Lurgoyfs. I love the Lurgoyfs. So, do you remember Lurgoyf?
That's probably a little bit before my time.
Okay, it's I think it's still around, but not often. So Lurgoyf was a card. It was just called Lurgoyf, and its power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures in all graveyards. No, its power is equal to creatures in graveyards. Its power is equal to all creatures in graveyards +1. So it always
nice.
1 health.
I think I have a card almost just exactly like that, but it's a black card.
So it inspired a series, or a bunch of cards, which creature type is Lurgoyf.
Okay.
And it's actually the type of my one super competitive deck that I can always take anybody out with if I want to. It's based around a Lurgoyf, which is the Terravore, whose power and toughness is equal to all lands in graveyards.
Ooh.
So it's a land destruction deck. You never get anything out, and then I drop 12/12 trample.
Yeah, oh shit.
You don't have any mana. So it's brutal, absolutely brutal. But I always love the Lurgoyfs. It's always one of my favorite get bits. So
it's my dude is a skeleton zombie that it's in my milling deck. So he gets stronger the more creatures there are in all graveyards. But I think mainly in your graveyard. But so he also gets a +1 as well, and that's why it gets super cool. So I like those creatures too.
Yeah, but I like that a little bit. But no, it's really cool. We're starting to get it. I like that we didn't even see the main characters until the last 2 pages, basically.
Yeah.
It was just Jaya's story the entire time. And I thought that was pretty dope. I also like that she told them the story, but then it transitioned to her telling the Guild Pact.
Yes.
So it wasn't like... It was a really great storytelling method of being able to, like... She told the same story twice. We don't need to show it twice. We don't need to see the journey on the way back.
Yep.
It just happened. I'm like, that's cool. I really, really like that.
And that's that's a really good point. And what I liked about the whole thing about this issue is that it was a giant backstory, epic as fuck. but it was like a whole backstory on this character and like the way magic lore just moves is quick and forward, and it really doesn't stop, and it almost doesn't really take a pause to go back until it literally has to circle back around to like certain aspects or certain lore. So I like that this like kind of meshed both things together. We got a cool backstory that was needed, and then we rushed it, not necessarily rushed it, but we come back to the guild pack and then explain it there. So kind of like I did, realizing this now, I just really like that about this issue.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing you appreciate because you don't notice it.
Yeah,
which I really dug. So, I think it's a really fun way to tell that story. Next up,
we're
gonna close off Boom. Not with a boom,
no,
but with a tear.
Yep.
The Many Deaths of Layla Starr, number 5.
Fuck.
Man, I'm sad to see this book go.
Me too.
It's been an emotional ride, more so than most books. Written by Ram V, illustrated by Felipe Andrade, with color assist by Inez Amaro, and lettered by End World Design. For those who haven't been paying attention,
this is one of the best books of the year.
Yeah. But this book is the one where Death gets fired because there's a young man who's going to invent immortality. She's made a human, and she spends her time trying to kill the young man so he doesn't invent it, and she won't be useless anymore. Which alone is just kind of sad. And just like, but it goes through his life, everything happening with him. And this is the last one. It's the end. They are... they're just... He's old. He seems content in life after everything that happened to him. She goes to visit him. And it just ends in a very appropriate but emotional way.
Yeah.
Like
I'm going through the pages now as well. And just like, it's just such a quick emotional journey. It's like, fuck. And it's like, I don't want to go through the spoilers. It's just like the trade is just like probably just around the corner. Everybody who reads comics should be reading this book, has to read this book. Mm-hmm. It really is like, honestly, like I'm kind of not one of those about like, oh, it's all about it's not about the destination, but the journey. But it's like, this is literally almost like the definition of this book. And that's what makes me love it, to just to everything that is about comics. It was just such a great book.
Yeah, I really loved it. It's been a year for stories of mortality.
Yeah.
And those are things that easily appeal to me. It's the kind of thing that gets under my skin, thinking about mortality and stuff. So it's been a really good year for that. And this one being such a creative idea and just being so stylistically beautiful and insane and
different,
everything,
every issue, not just in every way from other books, but in itself, almost every issue was just had to be different from the last one that was told, and it just kept challenging itself.
Yeah, it's just so good. And I just really enjoyed it. It's hard to really express anything more than it's just great.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a great book. Pick it up and trade. It's just wonderful. So, let's move on. Next, we're going to talk about a book that neither Josue nor myself managed to get a physical copy of. So we are switching publishers to Black Mask Studios. Now, if you've been listening, you know that we love Alice in Leatherland quite a bit.
Yes.
I will tell you, I went to 4 comic book stores in the Phoenix metro area, and I called several others, and no one had a copy of this book.
I went to my usual 2, and at that point, I was like, well, I don't want to waste the trip on the 3rd usual store to go to, but it's usually the store that gets even the indies that the other big stores don't get. But at the same time, I was like, this is just weird that even Books with Pictures didn't get it. And even at that point, Excalibur. So at that point, I called my fair share of the rest of town, and it was like, nobody had it. It was like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. So, Alice in Leatherland, number 5. I don't like digital comics.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it on Comixology.
I appreciate you.
Because we needed to review it. It's too good. we've had way too much fun with this series, and it's the last issue. Like, we needed to read it. So, created by Yolanda Zanfardino and Elisa Romboli. Written by Yolanda, illustrated by Elisa, respectively. So, this was a great culmination of the story we've been reading.
Yeah.
And I think, and that sounds really generic, but it's not. I think we took these two characters and we kind of brought them full circle and back together.
Yeah.
Like, and I really, really liked that. And I like that they found, they had to find themselves. You know what I mean? Like, really good love stories are about two people who find themselves before they find love. The generic, cheesy thing to say. But they kind of had to find themselves. You know what I mean? Like, it's really the like way it had to happen with them, because they really were starting off on two complete opposite spectrums. Alice was really reserved. Alice was very shy about sexual things. Alice didn't speak up about what she felt. You know what I mean? Like, not in the same way. You know what I mean? Whereas Robin was a very, very sexually like active person, but didn't get attached emotionally, and she intentionally avoided it. And when you got those two people, if we want them to end up together, which we did from the beginning, we were kind of like, we need them to kind of meet in the middle.
Yeah.
And they did. They did a really good job. Like, Alice does this really awesome like makeover where she completely changes her look and looks great.
Mm-hmm.
And Robin starts to see how shallow all this like app dating is. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah. So, and I actually really love the fact that Alice found somebody at the beginning of this issue.
Yeah.
Someone that gave her everything she needed, almost.
Yeah, and even still describing that, like, there was like some hurting, but it wasn't like in an abusive way. It was just like in the beginning. I'll let you know. Like, in the beginning, I was like, "Oh fuck, here we go again." And how's she gonna paint it now? Because and I'm reading it, like the first scene was like, "Oh, they're adorable." Like, this, I like it. And then you get the little fantasy like how it didn't work out, but this one was actually told in a much more mature fashion. And like, you were talking about how like she was like very in the beginning, she was very reserved, but it's like, I just hated how she would handle them and then speak out about them in the almost lying way. But I loved how this last one was like, I wish we had more of them this one, so I could have just like taken her a little more serious. But all in all, like, this issue was fantastic, and like you're so right about everything. I loved the way everything was handled too.
Yeah, and the fact that it had to come down to Robin making a big romantic gesture.
Yeah,
which is Alice's language. You know what I mean? Like, and then Alice's response is to make a big, sexy move.
Spicy.
Which is her,
spicy move.
Yeah, it was pretty hot, actually. And I just loved it. And I love that there's a happy ending. I love that we didn't have to taint the happy ending with anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes happy endings are just happy endings.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really like that. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. And being a male, I still feel like I relate to Robin so much. Like, I'm like, yeah, I get it, honey. Me too. So I love her. And then also, I've really loved this series. But I did have one thing I wish was a little different. And this isn't a complaint. I think it's just due to the structure of the 5-issue series.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're going to agree with me when I say this. We didn't get nearly enough of Alice's roommates.
The roommates, yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure. I love that they're actually like in this final issue as well, and in an actual scene instead of just like some one-liners, they're actually having a moment, and then Alice just has a crazy night.
Yeah. So spin-off idea. Just throwing that out there.
Oh, I would love it. Yeah.
So, but other than that, loved this book. It was absolutely great. Anything you wanted to
add? No, it was just that like all in all, Alice was great in this issue, and a very touching ending as well. I for sure enjoyed it.
Definitely, absolutely great. So glad we were able to get a hold of it. I will purchase a physical copy when I can find it, for the record.
Oh no, for sure. I'm definitely gonna get issue 5 as well.
Yeah.
I guess like what I loved about Alice in Leatherland is that it felt like that friend I could just be like honest with, like as much as like we love all the books, and we just tend to just highlight them. Whereas we don't really hate all the books that we read. But in this one, just felt so almost personal. I I love the inclusiveness of everybody, or the representation of everybody. And so it just felt almost appropriate, where I could just be maybe a little judgy towards it, or just be honest with them how I don't know, it just felt just very comfortable reading this book. So in the end, I liked how it ended, really.
Yeah, and I also, just to add on, I was kind of man, they were in the hate district during this for a festival, and I was I want to go to that. I was just man, I miss doing things.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun, and yeah, dude, really a lot of fun. I'm very excited because that book was really, really, really good, and we should be getting. And I'm just making sure I say this and don't speak incorrectly. You and me were talking about how we are probably going to get a new series from Black Mask.
Mm-hmm.
From, I believe it was from Yolanda Zanfardino.
Oh, that's right.
Hecate's, what was it called? Hecate's Will, which is the one we talked about. I think we talked about it last week. But it's basically a street artist deciding to retire and putting up a scavenger hunt through graffiti. And the art looks just like what we'd expect from Black Mask, and cannot wait for that as well. So even if this one's over, we're going to get something very similar, I hope. So
just throw on Jet Set Revolution in the background while you're reading it.
Yeah, right. So, all right. That's enough of us kissing the butts of the people from Black Mask. All right. Moving on from Black Mask, we're going to start with IDW. So I only got one book from IDW this week, and it's Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures, number 8. One thing I really liked about this book is it kind of matured in 3 issues really quickly. So it was very all ages, and I still think it's very appropriate for all ages. I think everybody could read this; it's fine, but it's definitely dealing with some more mature themes. So, written by Daniel Jose Older, art by Tony Bruno, colors by Rebecca Nolte, and letters by Jake Wood. So, of course, this all started with 2 kids. One of them is force sensitive, never told their friend. Their friend felt betrayed. They were never told. She gets taken away by the Jedi to get trained. He gets taken away by the Nihil, their enemies, and he's being trained. Well, there's a bit of a time pass, and you find out the kid that was taken by the bad guys has become one of their soldiers and has been pushed up in the ranks quickly. And he's hunting people down and killing them and stuff. He's doing legit bad guy things. And he goes to attack a Jedi temple, and a single Jedi basically takes out his entire fleet of ships, which is great.
Yeah.
But he's basically determined to do it, and he's going to go back and do it. And then the other Jedis are going to try to stop him. It's just a really interesting thing. One thing that was interesting is this temple is on the planet that Maz Kanata from The Force Awakens is on.
Oh, no shit. Cool.
And she's alive at this time.
Uh-huh.
They talk
about...
Yeah,
she's old as hell, yeah.
Yeah, they talk about her little temple, or her little, home and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I'm kind of that's interesting. We're going back to that world of all the worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Buckets of Blood shows back up, and anytime Buckets of Blood shows up, I love it. I love the fact there's a Jedi who calls himself Buckets of Blood, and someone shortens it to Buck, which I thought was great. So, and he always refers to himself by name. So he says, to prepare for the task I have Master Cantum and I, Buckets of Blood. I'm just amazing. And I'm almost curious, do people just want to keep writing that because it's hilarious? It doesn't actually fit his character, but they're perfect. This is great. So, good stuff. Next up, Josue is going to tell us about This Week in Bad Ideas.
Oof. It was a biggie, so I'll start with The Lot. We need to start with The Lot.
Oh, yeah, start with The Lot, sorry.
The Lot. This one done by writer Margaret Bennett, artist Renato Guedes. It's a black and white book, and it is beautiful. I feel I haven't talked about this book on this show. I remember when the first issue came out, it was I had an off week, and don't remember if I talked about the second one, even though I got it because I think I might have gotten it late. This is...
Hey, real quick before you start.
Oh yeah,
is it Marguerite Bennett?
Marguerite Bennett. Sorry, yeah.
Oh, okay, you said Margaret. I want to make sure she's the one that does what DC book?
She did Batwoman, right?
She does one right now.
Oh, okay.
And I just can't remember which one it was that I really enjoy.
She needs to come back. But yeah, this is finally like I mean I love ENIAC for being so fucking crazy, but damn it, like this is Bad Ideas' first serious book, really. Like they've had like their crazy wacky tales, but this is just really good. And for a horror book. So this is about like this like producer that was aiming for this position, or she was like gonna be up for this position. Like her and like some like douchebag guy. But like she's like a well-established producer, writer, did like a bunch of great movies, like or worked on a bunch of great movies, and she got the gig. And in this gig, is she basically like she got a big step in Hollywood, and basically got like a big foot in into like one of the big studios, like a like Warner Brothers, basically, or Universal, basically, like out in California. And when she was looking at her contract, she realized like, oh shit, part of this little like clause is that I get this lot to myself, this giant, like with those giant warehouses where they can just make movies and build insane sets. So this lot was locked away for like 50 years. Nobody was using it. And she's like, well, that's kind of a waste. So it's like, well, fuck it. I'll fucking use it. And apparently a huge murder happened like 50 years ago, which is why like they just remained it closed. We find out that a huge fucked up ritual happened like on like the last movie that was made there. People died. It was like a big like controversy that happened, like huge like scandal that happened like all those years ago, like making movies like the crazy Hollywood. Only it was real. You start crazy shit starts happening. You meet the director in the second issue. This is issue 3, by the way. You meet the director and he's just like, when you meet him, he's like, it all happened. It was fucking awesome, and we all live for the better, like better for it. And this, like, and our producer, like our main girl, is just like trying to hold on to this, or just at least like trying to survive this. Like now she's like, she opened the floodgates. She literally opened the doors, and now she's kind of completely fucked because like you can't really work movies there, or like now that her bosses know that she knows, like what the fuck does this mean? Now in issue 3 is really just trying to survive. And now that the doors are open, the gates are literally open. They literally have to try to close it back up. You find out what the sacrifices had to cost, why it was still remaining shut all these years was because one of the last people that were a part of it never gave her last sacrifice. So she was just like taking this whole time, and it never really gave her part. So in the end, she finally bites it, and yay, we save the day, right? Like at least hell doesn't reign over. And holy shit, here's like where the spin comes. Nobody believes her. Nobody believes them. Like they kind of want to put it out there, like that this happened, or at the very least, like now that these like recent murders aren't going to be her fault. Nobody believes her. Everybody's like, and everybody's like kind of like mourning over like their favorite producers and actors that just recently died. And it almost goes to show that like, and also like our producer just lost everything. She got fired. She got the email and be like, you're basically blacklisted. Like you're just out. And you hear and you see like the media and all the posts where it's just like, she's a fucking liar. Like basically she got canceled as fuck. And she almost comes to a realization. It's like, is the ritual still in effect? Like did like them like wishing for like their immortality and infinite fame, is it still taking place right now? Is it like all like her being canceled so that they're still beloved even in the afterlife? And she's just like, she's feeling that weight and realizing that she's just like out. She's just like done for. When really she gets a really dope last appearance by maybe more like the dude who was running the ritual itself. And that's like the last page. We have one more issue. I got this one felt like not really a finale, but now like everything's really ending here. But I honestly have no idea where this last issue could go. But fucking it, I just love like the law is just is so cool for like a horror book. It's in black and white. I love the way it uses like its panels or like its pages. Really, really, really dope. My favorite one for sure.
Nice. So I'm stupid. It's Ruby Justice League.
Oh my god, really?
and also she was doing one of the Batman Urban Legends stories.
Oh, cool.
And in future state, she did the Superwoman book.
Oh wow! Like all the ones. I mean, like Marguerite Bennett is awesome. Like I'm sure it's all the ones you liked, really.
Oh, I loved it. It was beautiful. So, and also she did A-Force with G. Willow Wilson. She was the co-writer. I'm so dumb.
Yes.
I don't remember any of that. But yeah, awesome. I really like her stuff. So awesome. Let's move on to Monster Kill Squad #1.
Monster fucking Kill Squad. Oh yeah, sorry, in the back. The credits are in the back. Monster Kill Squad, done by Christos Gage and Tomas Giorello. That's the art, and then Diego Rodriguez is the color art, and Dave Sharp is the letters. So Monster Kill Squad, almost like Tankers, but more monsters and less dinosaurs. It opens up with a video camera of, do you like clowns, Keith? We get a little clown. We get some clown monsters.
Yeah, great.
So it's like this group of clowns, a regular clown, a clown that can turn into like a spider, and then another one that's basically like the big bad. We'll get to him. Meet the Monster Kill Squad. This group of dope ragtag of dope people. They're so dope. Especially like the leader, like short, like white hair. She has like the scars over her face. She's just such a fucking badass. But pretty much like everybody has a role to play. Like our team goes in, like we get like some cool lore here where like clown monsters, like these are actual monsters. Like clown monsters have like low like telepathic like abilities, which is why like they're able to kind of to creep in on your thoughts, or why you always think they're creepy. Why they kind of have like they can also like manipulate you for a while or for like a second. So they're all geared up. Like they have like their sound dampeners, like special goggles, so that they don't really fuck with their illusions and stuff. And they go in, and it plays a really cool scene because like they kill like the spider one, and then like the other big bad, and they're like they realize this is weird because they start saying like, oh, like there's almost like different factions of clown monsters, and they don't really fuck with each other. And now like there's like a group of them, so like there's something up here. So they for sure take like the weakest, like the regular clown, and there's like a sweet interrogation where like you're gonna get like the incompetent cop to interrogate him. He's a monster. He doesn't give a fuck about him. He's never gonna talk, and he like this guy literally just like plays him. It almost reminded me of Professor Hickey in Community when he interrogates in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2. Yeah. When he interrogates Abed, it basically plays out like that, and the clown is an idiot, and he just like spoils everything.
You remember that scene now, and I'm gonna start laughing.
It's so good. So it's really cool because like it's legit plays into like all like a bunch of monsters, and like I guess like the mission now is someone's playing a game here where they might be after a Pandora's box, and then you see or like the leader, she goes and talks to an inmate, and it's this really cool like looking Medusa where she just lets her know where it's like, oh, like what did you say, like, oh fuck, she basically referenced like an apocalypse is coming, but it's basically like if we're already talking about an apocalypse coming, it's already over. So it's kind of like, ooh, it's like it's starting. So it's not as silly as Tankers. So I like that it's just like it's still like monster killing, but I like that to some degree it takes itself seriously with the lore. Almost where like the serious parts to Cabin in the Woods when we start like fucking with like the bunker down there. Like that's kind of what it reminds me of. Nice. And now for maybe my new favorite bad idea book, Pirate Queen, dude. Yeah. Telling you're gonna want to maybe check out Pirate Queen. Like it's one of those where like I wish I had this was a digital copy so I could send it to you, but then probably books of pictures would get in trouble for that, and then like I wouldn't get bad idea books because they're kind of like that. But god damn it, this one done by Peter Milligan, Adam Polina does the art, and colors by Tamara Bonvillain. It's awesome, dude. Like off the bat, you gotta see the crew. She is just such a cool looking pirate. I would like now that the camera's further away, you can't really see them, but yeah, like she's just awesome. Mm-hmm. We get pretty much like her story. I'll try to find her name really quick, but we get her story on like how she kind of grew up from being a pirate. She was like the daughter of a pirate, so when she was taken, her name is Monday Ryan. Like I guess she was born on a Monday, so that's kind of what they named her. I guess like the parents the dad was drunk because he was a pirate himself and just named her after like what day it was. And so she grew up being a pirate but being a girl growing up and like the dangers of fucking how pirates can be, she literally like, but she knew how to defend herself off the bat, being that she was also like the captain's daughter, and she just grows up to be such a badass pirate. And along the way, she falls in love with a Chinese pirate man, and oh boy, are they just like the cutest fucking couple, like going after like raiding other ships. Like they raid a colonial ship, a slave ship that was on their way, and because like at that point, like she was already she already had her reputation, and along with like with the guy, they weren't their captains. Like they were under someone else, and when they found this like slave ship, like because that captain was a fucking pirate, they pretty much like, not that they didn't take any prisoners, but they kind of like, basically the scene at the end of that scene that you showed me from American Gods happens. And
yes,
but it's really fucked up because it's more like, it's not really with the cool message to take down those, because like they did take care of like the redcoats, but at the same time they just left that ship to burn, which is like so at this point, this is where Monday was like, that night was like, fuck this noise, and drives a sword behind that captain, and they take over. So it's fucking dope. Now it's more like of a duo captain scenario on this pirate ship, and it's all dope. Like they're like one of the best pirate ships running around. The art is just so badass. I really like how everybody is just like portrayed and drawn. Like I love the oceans. Like this shit, like with the ships, it's just such great voyages. And we were talking about how much we love the Bonnie book. Oh, fuck, what's the Image book? God damn it, A Man Among Ye. And we want more pirate books, bro. God damn it! Like this is just really good because it doesn't really hold back. This one doesn't. At no point does it really feel safe. As much as a badass she is, bad stuff does happen to her. Like we just get kind of like her intro on how, because like it's one, like we open up with her almost being hung, so we get like her origins, and yeah, what happens to her is really fucking shitty. So you get this really strong fucking pirate story, and I just cannot wait to see what she does, like what happened, what else happens to her, but how she gets out of it, because she's not just some like, I mean, she is like super dope, but like the way these scenarios just play out a little more real, and just like I'm just excited for it. Pirate Queen, dude, just hella fucking impressed me.
Nice, awesome. All right, let's switch gears and talk about Aftershock Comics.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a couple books from Aftershock this week. I think Josue's only got the one.
Oh yeah,
but I got 3. So I'll do my solos first. Silver City #4. I think technically this came out last week.
Oh, okay.
But no one in town got it.
Oh, okay.
And I saw people reviewing it online, but I wanted to go ahead and give it a shout out just in case. Written by Olivia Quartaro Briggs, art and color by Luca Merli, and letter by Dave Sharp. So we get a nice like origin story for Mickey, which is one of the characters in the afterlife with her, and he's from the 1950s. So it's kind of cool, like they're spanning different ages and stuff. And they basically, because of how powerful the main character is, long story short, she's able to kind of project them back in time to right before she's killed. And they're trying to prevent the little girl who isn't quite dead from actually getting injured, so she doesn't ever get set down here. And so that's what they're doing. It's just really cool. And in the end, it's just really interesting. And we find out more about what's going on and everything. And she gets betrayed by a friend, is what I'll say. So, also this next cover.
Ooh, that was cool.
See the blood coming out of the wings at the base?
Yeah.
So, yeah, she basically has angel wings on this cover, but there's like blood coming from the base of them, so it's like they just sprout out or something.
Yeah.
Really cool. I really enjoyed this book. I've been really enjoying Silver City in general. So, next up is the #1, and it's Almost American #1. So, I got this cover.
Yes.
So, it's great. It looks like a propaganda poster and stuff. Written by Ron Mars, drawn by Marco Castiello, colored by Flavio Dispenza, letter by Russ Wooten. Now, this is created by Janosh Newman, and it's based on a true story. It's based on his real life.
Ooh, okay.
So this guy, in real life, was a Soviet spy who jumped sides and came to the U.S. looking for, clemency. So this is him and his wife, and they were a husband and wife spy team, just like on The Americans. This is literally their story in comic book form.
Huh.
And so I thought that was really cool. They're in the Dominican Republic. They basically go to the U.S. Embassy and they're like, yeah, we need to talk to the CIA. And they're like, here's what we can offer you. We want a paycheck the rest of our lives, and new names. And that basically it's going to be that story of them hiding their identities and everything like that. It was really cool. It's also got a complete timeline of everything they did in the back. So really cool idea. And the art is actually pretty dope. It's very good for a spy thriller. I thought it was a good art choice for that. So, like, here's a big two-page spread where they kind of look like the two people from.
They do, but oh my god, the color scheme is on point.
Yeah, but no, I'm really enjoying this. It's really cool, and I'm very curious to see where it goes, especially because it's based on a true story. So, unique idea. I like it. That brings us to our last Aftershock book. Which, yes, once again, I have caught up on it. Phantom on the Scan number 5, another finale.
Mm-hmm.
Written by Colin Bunn, drawn by Mark Torres, and lettered by Dave Sharp. It comes to a finale. I will say I did listen to the track for it, and it was perfectly timed.
Oh, yeah.
Like I started it and started reading, and as I finished, the song ended.
I did it twice. It went twice for me.
Yeah, because I read through quick, but I was just kind of like interested.
But even still, it almost like, it was like there's sequences where like, oh shit, this is on point.
Yeah, it was really good. So, there was a lot of big, like, visual moments in this, and the kind of I don't want to say body horror, but I guess it's the best word for it.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of body horror in this, and let's just say not everybody makes it out alive in the end. And I thought this was a really cool ending. I want to kick it to Josue because he's the one who's actually been, reviewing this every week. So what'd you think?
Well, I mean, like, yeah, we talked about the songs. Like, the songs are definitely a part of this book, and they give off such a great vibe, like, with each issue. Like, for I love how it was just, like, thought out that way. And yeah, this one really went hard. You're right. I'm, like, going through the panels, and, like, I'm going through, like, the people that don't make it, and it's not just the grotesque thing in the middle. That's awesome. But there's a lot of other body horror, and it's like, fucking A. It's just, like, it's awesome. It's intense. I didn't see this giant thing coming here. Yeah. And then, to get that ending, to be free of the curse, but we were there from the beginning, and this guy was just tormented. Like, this little fucking thing was just there whenever it didn't need to be. It's like, God damn it. Well, I guess to some degree, at least you don't have a fucking, like, Victor following you around aiming to kill you now, at least.
Yeah. But pretty good. Curious to see if there's going to be anything else coming from it. Didn't sound like they have immediate plans or anything, but
yeah, it almost seemed like
it was something that was in Cullen Bunn's head and he wanted to get out.
Yeah.
So, pretty cool. Kind of weird that's already over. It feels like we just started reading that book.
I know, right? I think it's like the one that just actually like followed through month to month instead of just like taking a break somewhere.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Josue is going to talk to us about Behemoth Comics and You Promised Me Darkness 5.
Oh, hail Behemoth. Damien Connolly's You Promised Me Darkness, number 5, coming to an end. As you all know, I've been struggling with this book. I love the presentation. I'm bothered by the execution almost every time. Like, it took 5 issues, and it isn't like the piece that I was looking for it to draw, so I can like, I can actually go back now, reread it, and now I get it. It's really like a piece of that piece that I've been waiting for. And because, we finally get like this confrontation, and the sister of the main guy is like almost like the big bad, and we finally get the title drop that they finally say the words, "You promised me darkness," because someone dies, and it was in the end it kind of makes sense. I will maybe go back and read this so I can like actually see it through. Because Lord fucking help me, this was just a setup for Follow Me Into the Darkness, and I don't want to see the second arc, but I just like these pages. Maybe again, all I needed was more lore. All I needed was for it to take its time, so it can actually like then tell its story. But if we need more stories so we can then tell it, oh, Lord help me, am I gonna read the second volume? I fucking struggle with this book, dude. Like, I just like, but again, like, I love the pages. Like, these were just so cool. I wish you could just see this one I'm looking at right now, but fuck, like the way this shit is, like all of this, like this guy with the tree gas mask, the way like the text is here with the giant face. It's so cool, but we'll see. Maybe with the reread of all 5 issues, I will probably get a little bit more, and it'll probably get me excited to want to know more, to get more. I'll think about it when the week comes. I will think about it.
Nice. All right, let's move on to Vault. We got one Vault book, but it's the best Vault book.
Yes.
We're talking, of course, about Money Shot. Money Shot number 14. Of course, I got the A cover.
Yes.
But I also got the Vault Undressed cover, which I've already shown his way, but I'll show it again.
The prawn.
From the movie Tron, but it says porn. So it would have been funny if it said prawn, actually. So, anyways. Of course, creative team. Written by Tim Seeley and Sarah Beatty. Drawn by Caroline Lee Lane. Colored by Kurt Michael Russell. Lettered by Crank. So this one is pretty much the definition of a center of an arc. You know what I mean? Like, we're right in the middle of the arc. And we're dealing with both Annie and Doug being missing on this other planet, and the rest of the group trying to find them. But we're also dealing with, jealousy. Like, Chris is upset that her former lover has moved on without her, with 3 sexy alien chicks, including one she seems to really have feelings for.
Yeah.
And that was cute. I really enjoyed that. The panel of the week for me was when you already know. I don't have to say it. It's when Annie and Doug are like there, and the deer chick. He's like, Chuff, you're alive. I knew you'd come back for me. And he just goes on this whole rant. And he's like, we're water on the bridge, right, baby? And then it's just piss hitting his face. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
The fact that this face doesn't change either. There's no flinch there.
Annie's face changes. So that's what I like. She starts smiling. She looks annoyed, and then she's like, okay, good. Which I thought was great. But yeah, and then basically they're able to get enough energy, and now they're on a rescue mission to go find them. The group's back together. I don't think Chris has worked out her feelings yet, but I think she will. And we got a pretty cool revelation about the big bad, quote, that was trafficking these women into porn slavery, if you will.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool. I really enjoyed it. I just love Money Shot. It's never not great. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add?
Well, now you gave me the floor. That sex scene, as weird as it is, I was like,
oh, yeah.
That was awesome. However that works, that looks super dope.
We won't describe it for you.
Because I don't know how.
But it was great, yeah. Like, that's another compliment to the new artist,
yes,
Caroline, that she was able to take that and, like, come up with a way to draw it where I can look at it and be like, okay. But if you asked me to describe it, I'd be like, well...
because there's 2 panels worth, and then by the second panel, I was worried for sure we're gonna have a loss of words here.
Yeah, exactly. So nice. And moving on to a publisher we've never talked about on this show. I've read comics from them before, but not for this show, and that is AWA. Josue, tell me about Telepaths number 1.
I will. And the only reason why I got this book was because of the team.
Creative team.
Yeah. J. Michael Straczynski writing and Steve Epting drawing and Brian Reber as the letter? Colorist. Sal Cipriano is the letter. Yeah, apparently JMS probably has like a contract with AWA because he has like kind of like 4 or 5 books like at AWA, like a bunch like different genre books. It's like, oh shit, that's where you've been this whole time. But this one, Telepathic, number 1, it's out of 6, a little mini, and it's interesting. We're set up with the sun is going to have its biggest solar flare for the first time in, I think, since like the 1800s, when it really messed up shit for people back then. So who knows what it can happen now. And it's following 3 different stories, so I'll probably get closer on the details as we go along the issues, because we'll probably be here for a while elaborating like all the 3 separate stories. But it's a cop, it's an inmate who's kind of maybe on the verge of maybe getting out, but then not, because a lawyer or someone from the other side of the table says something bad, and the guy literally stabs him in the fucking neck, exactly where like the dude's gonna start bleeding out if he doesn't get surgery right then and there. And then and the third story being the people, the government reporting on the solar flare. And then out of nowhere, it's not really a comment, but I think the solar flare is happening, or like a weird comment that passes by, people just drop. Like they just pass out, not necessarily like die. Yeah, okay. People just pass the fuck out. And it becomes like almost like a Why the Last Man scenario, but instead of like just everybody that drops just dying, it's more like if you were safe, like if we were like us right now, if this happened right now, we'd be okay. At least if we didn't hit a corner in our heads or somewhere. But the people who were driving, flying, controlling construction, cranes, buses, everything. Yeah, I mean, shit still happened everywhere that went down. And so the people who kind of woke up, I guess, like, I don't think everybody, this is where like the 3 stories start, like, as we come back to like the 3 stories, the people who we were focusing on start developing weird powers. Like one of the government ladies, because I think like the president was going to make the announcement about the flare. She almost had, I guess she might be a precog, because the president was going to have like a really like last minute scheduled like speech. So everybody was kind of like also like rustling around. And it's like, oh shit, what if there's like a potential shooter? And that's when she gets like her powers like as a precog. Like, oh shit, she just calls out gun. All the Secret Service do their thing and start spraying bullets. And then obviously she was right, because then when they check him, it's like, oh wait, what the fuck? He was unarmed. And she's like, oh no, in the cockpit, because he was kind of reaching in there, and they find the gun. So, and then we come back to like the cop, and like, because they were like the wife was freaking out. There's like, oh shit, you're alive. And then he starts becoming a mind reader not that he meant to, but she also starts like thinking. So she starts thinking too loudly about her affair, and he's like, kind of like, wait, what the fuck? And she's like, wait, I didn't say it. Yes, and he's like, yes, you did. I just heard it. And it's like, bad things happen in this marriage. So yeah, I don't know what happened to the. We didn't get they didn't show us what happened to the prisoner, but that he is on the cover with the cop for like the next issue. So a pretty interesting setup. I like that the whole everybody dropping kind of reminded me of Why the Last Man. But now it's like kind of with powers. So yeah, we'll see. It was like, JMS, nice to read you again.
Nice. Are all the main characters like roughly in the same place? As by that I mean like the same city?
I'm gonna have to look over where the president's like speech was, but maybe, because yeah, for sure. I assume the cop and the prisoner are going to be in the same city, since they're together in the cover for the next issue.
Oh, okay, because he JMS did oh my god, what was that show? It was on Netflix with all the people with powers, and they can talk to each other and all around the world. It was really queer friendly.
Not Alphas.
He did it with the Wachowski siblings.
God, which one? Sense8?
Yes, Sense8.
Okay.
Yeah, so, people randomly getting powers all around, I was like, oh, this kind of sounds like Sense8. That's interesting, so, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You kind of want to give me a vibe to actually watch that, so fuck yeah. But yeah,
you never watched it?
Not all the way through. I was actually told, like, from friends to be like, yo, it's like, might be shit you might be into, but I never followed it through.
Yeah, Liz absolutely adored it, so
nice.
She's watched all of it. All right, awesome. let's move on to Image comic books. And we're going to stick with Josue briefly while he tells us about Ink Blot number 12.
Ink Blot by Emma Kubert and Rusty Glad. And I'm actually so, like, I love how it might be just them, like, each other. Oh, no, I mean, like, I like how it's just, like, these two people are probably just, like, coming up with the story as they go. Not necessarily they're just, like, making it up, but the way their work relationship works, it's the penciling and colors by Emma and the inking and lettering by Rusty. But really, like, the story is done by both of them. So, I never really realized that that's how it worked between the two.
Mm-hmm.
So for this issue, our good old librarian of the big old magic family, now that she kind of understands this void cat, she's trying to force it. As she's learning, she's trying to force it into conjuring up another portal or trying to figure out how it works with forceful magic. And she finally annoys it enough and starts chasing it to where they end up back at the Veronica and Vika fight. Like the two sisters that just that couldn't share and couldn't come up with a civil understanding that was raging all fucking havoc. She's back there, literally right in the middle, and she's trying to get out. Like, would you two just please stop? When the two just unleash literally all hell, and she's presumed dead. She falls off a cliff. There's an explosion. She falls off a cliff, and she ends up almost in a future. Where she meets her youngest, I think it's the youngest brother, the baby brother, that is now just this older guy, this 40-year-old guy that has facial hair, but he knows who she is. He obviously recognizes her. And he's like, oh, hey, big sis, as he's just much, much older. And we're in this weird timeline where everybody knows that this sister is dead, but she was just blipped out for a second. Because of this goddamn cat. So there's a cool touching moment of at least this sibling being reunited with this long lost sister, that by the end, fuck, what the hell happens that they basically, they get transported at this point, but this brother comes back to they get transported to her present because we do need to kind of come back. But in this case, that future brother comes back to the past and will, I guess, now be part of the family. It's left off with the leader of the family back at that, I guess now our reading present, the leader of the eldest brother. I guess he's just ready to go to work, he needs the sister's help. Yeah, but we'll elaborate later on what that's all about. Because right now it was just weird that we got, of all the crazy entropy that we get hit with this book because of this cat, I did not think we were going to get hit with an alternate timeline. That is not something I saw coming.
That's awesome. Yeah, you talked about Rusty and Emma and how they work well together. Well, they're like partners in real life.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
Yeah, they're actually, they live together.
I love books that are actually about when there's the couples working together.
Yeah, so that makes it easy for them to walk over and be like, here, do this. Or you can talk over the dinner table or something. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Oh, that makes me appreciate the book so much more now.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, and then I got 3 Image books of my own, starting with Commanders in Crisis number 12.
Ooh, baby.
Yet another finale.
Was there a sexy variant this time for a finale? There was. Oh my god. Of course you would love that.
Yeah, he's just I literally, if there's been a prize fighter cover, I picked it up every time.
I mean, the fact that it's a wrestling and shit, that's really cool.
Yeah. So, written by Steve Orlando, drawn by David Tinto, colored by Francesca Corretenuto and Francesca Vivaldi, lettered by Fabio Amelia. So, I want to start with the end, actually. Steve left a really awesome note at the end talking about it. And it's really good. If you guys are reading this book, make sure to read the letter at the end. And he said, there may be no easy answers ahead, but one thing's for sure. As long as we keep fighting for it, there will always be hope and promise to be found. Mm-hmm. So this has been a very political book. It's a parody in a lot of ways, but it's also a political book. So in the end, where we left off, the multiverse has been completely destroyed. All Earths are dead except for this one. And the cosmic sepsis is setting in because the Earth is so toxic and hateful now that it just needs to be destroyed. Well, when the concept of empathy was killed earlier in the book, that's kind of what set this all into motion. And I'm kind of summing things up very quickly just to kind of get where we need to be. The commanders in Crisis have discovered a way to create a new concept. Not empathy, but a new concept.
Okay.
That try to keep the world together. And they realize, and one of the other characters in one of them basically tells them, you guys aren't even from this Earth, and you're coming in and telling us what to do and everything. So the character whose power is she can do anything as long as she comes up with a word for it, come up with the word omnisapien teleunification.
Okay.
Which gives every person on Earth 24 hours of a hive mind where they can all talk to everybody.
Oh, shit.
And she basically says, we're not from here. This is your Earth. If something's going to work, it's going to be your idea, not ours.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the entire human race has to work together to come up with an idea.
Yeah.
For this new thing. And so the Crisis Command literally sits on the side and just chills on their own, waiting for them to do it. And then this cute little girl walks up. She's like, we finally got something. And she whispers in the girl's ear. She goes, all right. Or, okay, then, with a word. Are we ready? And then we don't see what the word is. And then you see the cosmic sepsis that's destroying the world here slowly fades away and pulls back.
Ooh.
And then we get, like, cuts all over the place. Including going back to Frontier, who was the leader of the group that kind of betrayed them, kind of didn't. She's still fighting her alternate self. We'll come back to that in a moment.
Okay.
But basically, also, Prizefighter gets a cute moment with the reporter that saves his life.
Yeah.
The one that basically told everybody to cheer for him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so he's great. And basically, what has happened is there was this act that was going that basically would separate the U.S. into like 58 countries. They were trying to like separate into, our space, your space kind of thing.
Okay.
And that's what was going to do everything. It says, in a stunning turn, the American Individuality Act has been withdrawn in favor of an even more drastic bill. The United States of America has been sent back to formula. Which I laugh because I saw the Green Goblin in my head as soon as I saw back. So,
back to formula.
The president is dead, but secession is idling, as plans are fast-tracked for a new constitutional convention decided by true popular vote.
Ooh.
And I'm like, man, wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Everybody had an equal say. So that's basically how they fix America in the end. And we're not giving too much details of what they decide because, it's up to us to decide what would be best.
Yeah.
Ourselves, which I think is great. The book is the creators of the book are the Crisis Command, and they're not trying to tell us what the answer is.
Mm-hmm.
They're telling us we have the power to find the answer.
That's beautiful.
Which I think is great. So, Sawbones Diego, the Hispanic president, he finds out he has family on this planet, and their version, not Diego, Ignacio. I don't know why I said Diego. Ignacio, his version died at 7 years old. So he goes and meets his family, because now he's back, and all this stuff. And it's all really cool. Everything's going great. And I'm flipping pages being like, what's the word? What was the word? What was the word? And in the end, we don't find out.
Yeah.
But we do see Frontier after she fights her counterpart. And she's just floating out in the middle of nowhere because that's how she took out her counterpart. She tackled her basically into the nothingness. She's floating out and she's like, what? Why am I alive? And she's like, wait, it can't be. They're growing back. It's the other Earth.
Oh, shit. Aw.
And she's like, I need to see it. I have to, even if I never get back, a new frontier. So she goes through this portal, right?
Yeah.
And the last page, it's her superimposed on a real picture of our world.
Oh, what? Oh, yeah, shit.
That's like a Google Earth image.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. And that's where it ends.
Nice.
So, yeah. This is great. This is a great 12-issue run, guys. Pick it the fuck up. Like, so good. And it's funny. I still quote the "I'm trending" thing from Prize Fighter to Liz all the time. Like, it's so funny to me. Like, I love it. So, next up, Undiscovered Country number 15. Written by Scott Snyder and Charles Soule. Art by Giuseppe Comancoli and Leonardo Marcello Grassi. Coloring by Matt Wilson, lettering by Crank. This one kind of I really like what's happening here, because basically the same character has kind of been the one. It's Ace. He's the one that's kind of solved everything up to this point. He's the one that's like the expert in America and everything like that. And now they're in this world that's all about inspiration. It's all about creating a masterpiece. And he immediately takes charge when he's not the most creative one. And he's kind of thinking about tropes, like what's the most American tropes. Meanwhile, one of the other characters who's not speaking up kind of is way more creative. And I think she's going to have to step up and do it. And he's going to kind of fail a little bit, which is good, because I don't want him to be the one that solves everything.
Okay.
I want everybody to contribute something. So I'm really digging that. I think that's done really well. They run into a group of, because they go to like Fable World, where all the biggest stories are. So they run into the group, including Paul Bunyan, Babe the Blue Ox, John Henry, Annie Oakley, and Davy Crockett. And then they're taken to the other part of the group, which is Betsy Ross, Johnny Appleseed, George Washington, who is a myth in this, Molly Pitcher, and Briar Rabbit. I have to show you Betsy Ross, though.
Oh my god.
She's like in like red, white, and blue military gear. Yep. It's so funny to me. So I love it. But basically, they're like, yes, please help us. And they reveal the bad guy is the Crossroads Devil. Because he's like the evil American myth.
That's
cool. A really great shout.
Yes.
And check out his design.
Oh, that's great.
Basically, they make him look like Robert Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you can see him up here, his face. It kind of reminds me of Blacktop Bill from Nocterra.
Oh, yeah, totally.
So, long story short, they're like, he's the bad guy in all this. And then after they leave, George Washington goes down and he's telling a story to somebody. He's like, the bad guy off screen says they believed it. He goes, of course, I'm George Washington. I cannot tell a lie, my master. And it's the Crossroads Devil. So,
motherfucker.
Yeah. Really cool. I'm really liking this. I like this world probably the most of the three so far.
Oh, okay. It is actually very interesting.
I'm a writer. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Last book. I'm going to be very brief because I'll be frank with you. I'm not caught up on this book because it's not something I've been buying issue to issue. I've been buying trades.
Which one?
The Beauty.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Written by Jason Hurley and a gentleman we interviewed once, Jeremy Hahn.
Oh.
And art is by Matthew Dow Smith, Jeremy Hahn, and Danny Luckert. Colors by Brett Weddley, and lettering by Thomas Maurer. This one is the one. You'll remember it when I describe it to you. By the way, it's just beautiful. I love this.
Oh, yeah. No, I definitely see those all the time.
Yeah. So the story behind this one is there's a sexually transmitted disease. And if you get it, you become the most beautiful version of yourself you can possibly be.
That's right.
You lose a bunch of weight. Your teeth are perfect. Your hair is perfect all the time. So everybody wants this sexually transmitted disease. And then suddenly people with it just start blowing up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this really cool detective thriller. It's got a lot of political ramifications in it. I remember I hadn't read it when we were like when we had the opportunity to interview him.
Yeah.
So I actually ordered every volume that was out at that point.
Oh, okay.
And read them all before we interviewed him. I'm like, I'm so excited to talk to him because this is really fucking good. This is a finale.
Oh, is it? It's right.
Yeah, it's not even a numbered issue. It's just the finale.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a special issue. I did not read it super in depth because I'm not caught up. I didn't want to spoil it for myself.
Oh yeah, I get it.
So I apologize to everybody out there, but I wanted to bring it up because I do only buy the trades, and we don't really talk about trades on this show.
Right, yeah.
And I really wanted to tell you guys, pick it the fuck up. It's just absolutely really, really good. And I can't express enough how much fun you'll probably have reading this book. For those who don't know, he also did books like Berserker for Top Cow.
Okay.
He did Darkness. He did Constantine for a while. He did a bunch of stuff, and he's just great. Jeremy Hahn's great. And yeah, check it out. It's just absolutely wonderful. So had to give it a shout out, even though I'm not giving it a full review. I can tell you it's probably excellent because the rest of the series has been. So
before we move on, I realized I had another Image book.
Oh, what is it?
It's something fantastic. I'm so glad it's out because I did not have the money to get every variant, every second, third, sometimes fourth printing. Stray Dogs, the galleries, like with all the horror variants. So basically all the variants.
It's like a cover gallery?
It's just a cover gallery of all the variants and the regulars too, but with all the horror variants, which is what I wanted all the time. But now I don't have to buy every single issue that I wanted, like for like my favorite horror movies. So it was actually really fun that this was out too.
That's really cool. We really, really loved that book.
Absolutely. I'll get Stray Dogs anything.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to DC. And I'm going to start with my solos as always. And I have a couple DC books this week. First of all, Harley Quinn Annual #1. Deluxe cover.
Nice.
So remember last week where I said, I was actually kind of missing the art? It is a different artist for the annual, but I did find out the artist Riley Rossmo is coming back to the book. It was just a one shot away.
Okay.
So cool. I'm really excited strangely about that because again, originally I was like, I don't know about this art, and then 3 issues in, I'm like, this art is perfect.
It's very different from like how they would usually take a Harley Quinn book.
Exactly. Well, I mean, the book itself is very different than a Harley Quinn book. This book barely has Harley in it, which I love when annuals do that, by the way.
Yeah.
Written by Stephanie Phillips, art by David LaFuente, Marco Failla, and John Samariva, color by Mick Guaramoto, and lettered by AndWorld. So what's happening here is it's Solomon Grundy and Kevin, the former clown, and Harley is missing and they're trying to find her. The bad guy Keepsake has kidnapped her, so they're trying to find her. They find out that Keepsake worked as basically a goon for every major villain in Batman's history. Mm-hmm. And his name is Keepsake because he always steals something from them.
Ha.
So he has like a freeze gun. He has Firebug's fire gun. He has one of the Penguin's umbrellas, all that stuff, right? And you find out he actually used to work for the Joker. Mm-hmm. And he was basically obsessed with the Joker and wanted to make him happy. But every time he did something right, Harley would be there talking to the Joker and would always take his spotlight. And so he's just like, bitch, basically. So,
yeah.
So basically, and the book opens, they flash back to why she disappeared with them at a skate park. It's Harley rollerblading and Kevin skateboarding, which I thought's great.
Yeah.
Chubby dude skateboarding. I love it. Keepsake shows up. She's like, who? like no one knows who he is. And basically, in the end, she's gone. Kevin and Grundy are traveling around the underworld trying to find out what happened to her. They're asking Mr. Freeze. Oh, and also, she goes on a date with Keepsake. Long story. She's blackmailed into it. And this outfit.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, that's just an amazing outfit.
That's a really cool design, yeah.
Dude.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, long story short, and then, and also, yeah, the art kind of changes. There's different artists. I really like this art style, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's just kind of cartoony and fun.
I can dig it.
I really dig that. So, anyways, long story short, they go through a bunch of villains, including Penguin, who has no patience for them. Cheshire, all kinds of people. And it's funny because Kevin is just Kevin. He's just a kind of a fat dude with a clown tattoo on his neck. But Grundy's Grundy, and no one fucks with Grundy.
I love Grundy.
They kind of lean on that the entire way through. Keepsake ends up making a copy of the factory in which Harley Quinn fell into the acid. Mm-hmm. And is like, we'll do it again. He tosses her in, they fall in. She's weighed down by some chains. He gets out. She seemingly drowns. And then Grundy shows up and pulls her out of the water.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. And he just says, he's just in like, and she's like, where'd he go? Oh, he got away. And she hugs Kevin for saving her. She goes, "Get in here, SG." So Grundy joins the group hug.
Oh.
And if this is going to be like a trio, I need this. This is going to make this book even better.
I've always loved Solomon Grundy. Like,
yeah,
I really hope. I mean, and I know everybody's like super like won over by King Shark, but if we get a third Suicide Squad movie and we need like the one phrase like super strong guy, I really hope they bring in Solomon Grundy.
Oh yeah, totally.
I would love him in a movie.
Plus, he can't die.
And he can't die because like we had like what Killer Croc in the first one, and then King Shark in the second one. I would love if we just rotated that role like for the movies, and we actually got Grundy.
Yeah. Speaking of King Shark, Infinite Frontier #5. I got this variant deluxe cover.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Suicide Squad.
Yes.
And 3 characters I actually liked from Suicide Squad.
3 characters I give a shit about.
So, man, I can't believe I actually like Rick Flag.
Dude, I've been watching that movie so fucking much because
I follow you on Twitter.
It's gonna be gone in 3 days. It's like I gotta fucking like watch this shit over and over again. It's just entertaining.
It's fine. It's perfect. There's nothing wrong with it.
Exactly.
There's a lot of things wrong with a lot of DC movies.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that one.
Yeah.
I just don't care for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than a lot of them.
It actually makes me laugh. There's actually funny scenes that were just like I don't expect this in a DC movie.
It's better than the first one.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely.
Oh, damn
it's
sure.
A big glow up, I'll say that. And I think it's better than Birds of Prey too.
Okay. What did you think of John Cena at least? I haven't gotten your opinion on him in the movie.
I think I really liked him, but I think in the end, well, this spoilers, and in case anyone cares, when he turned out to be a bad guy, I think he went too evil.
Ooh, okay.
And it kind of obliterated all the likability.
Ooh, okay. I mean, that's kind of the point, right?
Well, but afterwards, I don't want to see a Peacemaker show. He was an asshole.
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't a funny asshole. He was an asshole, and he killed Rick Flag.
Yeah.
I think that was the one mistake that really bothered me the most plot-wise.
Ooh, okay.
Is I was like, you made him really unlikable, and I loved him for the first half of the movie.
Yeah.
And then he did that, and I was kind of like, oh. And maybe it's because of the nature of his character, because he is very much a fight for America first.
Yeah.
I don't want to see an ultra-serious serial killer saying America first in my media right now.
I get that.
That's the last shit I need to be seeing. Right. I see that in real life. So, that really bothered me the most of all the character turns.
Okay.
So, I think his performance was fine. I just think the decision was poor.
Okay.
So, yeah. And also Amanda Waller getting jumped by her flunkies is bullshit. Amanda Waller would kill every one of them.
Yeah.
So, anyways. Okay. Next book. Yeah. Infinite Frontier #5. Joshua Williamson writing, Paul Pelletier, Jesus Marino, Tom Derenick penciling, Norm Rapin, Raul Fernandez, Tom Derenick inking, Hi-Fi coloring, and Tom Napolitano lettering. So this is where Infinite Frontier is all collapsing together. Everything's actually starting to make sense together. Everything's on Earth Omega. The whole group shows up. Director Bones is a bad guy, apparently. Alan Scott, Green Lantern, and Obsidian show up. Jade shows up. All the other teams show up. It's really cool.
Black Lantern?
And,
Black Lantern Roy?
Yeah, he's with Jade's team. And
okay.
To him. So, basically, the leftovers of the Justice League across the multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
And Jade's team, which is like Power Girl, Atom Smasher, things like that, they're like, we're going to take you down. And he says, or Mirror Master says, meet my Injustice Incarnate.
Oh shit.
Including,
oh my god,
a green or a Yellow Lantern Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Magog.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot in here. It's a lot to break down. So they're like, here's the big bad guys. They're from the alternate reality. And then Alan Scott is cheesy. He says, good thing we're the Justice Society and like Green Lantern copies of everybody.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. But they fight, and the bad guys get the upper hand. They fight President Superman. All this stuff's happening. The only person left is Roy Harper.
Oh, okay.
Roy Harper, Forever the Last Son, the final piece. And it's just like, the ring chose you. They're going to this whole thing like you're really necessary. He's like, you say this is some great weapon that I can use this ring to save everyone here. He's like, yes, you can. But you know what happens, don't you? That ring will take you over, turn you into a mindless creature of the dark. And he finds out that his daughter is actually alive and back on their planet. He's been looking for her is the whole point of this.
Mm-hmm.
He said, basically, she says, Psycho Pirate's like, your daughter will be safe. He's like, wait, she isn't here? And she goes, that means she is alive and she's back home. You said this ring is powered by my suffering. I've got more than enough.
Oh.
It's fucking Roy, man. And he uses the power to basically free everybody. And it leaves him looking like this.
Of course it does.
And then he's down. He's like, oh, Robo, you have no idea what you just did. All the good guys come back. They're attacking Psycho Pirate.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's an omniscient talk. It's too late, and any battle now will only feed my power. The multiverse barriers have been created. All of its citizens will kneel to me.
Of course.
And with my Omega Lantern at my side, I control all.
Shut the fuck up. What?
Roy has become an Omega Lantern.
Oh my god. Holy shit.
So is it going to be like the Omega beams?
Uh-huh.
But in lantern form? Like that powerful?
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
This was really dope. This has been building really well, and I liked it. So.
That's cool. The whole like Yellow Lantern Joker, I always have to call him out, but my favorite new Guardian during the Blackest Night event, like the Yellow Lantern Scarecrow, that shit was dope as fuck.
I was a really big fan of Red Lantern Mara.
Oh, I'm for sure. I think she's my second favorite.
Yeah, I like that it was like, oh, we got to find a bad guy for Red Lantern. Mara's like, I got it.
I'm all fury, bro. Like I'm all rage.
I'm just angry all the time. That's my secret, Captain. I'm always angry. Next book, Batman: Fear State, Alpha. Josue, you might need to get into this crossover.
Okay.
I don't know how expensive it's going to be for us, though, so we'll see.
Oh, okay.
But I think this is James Tynan's farewell to Batman.
The Alpha State? Okay. Oh, the Future State?
It's Fear State.
Fear State, yeah.
So it's written by James Tynan. Art is Riccardo Federici. Colored by Chris Sotomayor. And lettered by Clayton Cowles. Just to give you an idea of the art we're dealing with.
Oh, your camera kind of went out. It's kind of like glitchy.
Oh?
Like it comes back after a while, but...
Okay. There's nothing I can do about it right now. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I don't know if you can see it, but the art, it kind of reminds me, actually, ironically, we were talking about Legacy of Evil for Green Goblin. It kind of reminds me of that art a little bit.
Ooh, okay.
And it's dealing with Scarecrow. Scarecrow is going to be the big bad. I don't know if you can see this.
Not yet.
They have this crazy design for Scarecrow where he looks creepy. He's got like a Plague Doctor mask on and stuff. He looks pretty sick. And his whole thing is he wants to jumpstart society. He came up with this theory that if society goes through a massive like shakeup problem, then and they all experience this trauma all at once, it actually jumpstarts evolution of society several decades. We actually evolve quicker. So it's kind of like, okay, cool. On back, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll show you the Scarecrow again. So, see right there.
Ooh, oh yeah, it's how we look at the end of like the Harley's Future State. Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah. So basically, he kidnaps Batman. He and we actually see this is when we actually see Peacekeeper 1 show up with all the magistrate and stuff. This is actually starting to bring the magistrate into the existing DC universe, which is scary as shit. And Oracle is like, hey, what do they do? They shut off all communications in Gotham, so there's no TV, nothing, right? Cell phones don't work. And Oracle's like, well, I have a way of talking to everybody. I have a hardwired way. She's like, Stephanie, plug in those cables down there. She's like, that puts me directly in the emergency broadcast system. They plug it in, and then a message starts going out in Oracle's voice. People of Gotham City, this is your eye in the sky, your one and only Oracle. I'm back online and speaking now to tell you now the truth. It's all much worse than it seems. I know you're afraid right now, but the truth is you're not nearly frightened enough. And it cuts to Barbara, and she's like, what's happening? This isn't me.
Oh, shit.
Someone hacked Oracle.
Oh, fuck.
They said the mayor's in hiding, scarecrows on the loose, fear is spreading in the city, and you can be sure that the air you're breathing is filled with this poison.
Oh, God.
It's probably not just in the air, it's in the water you're drinking. The magistrate can't save you. They're just a new oppressor high in the skies over the city. They don't care about you. I wish I could tell you that Batman was coming to save the day, but he can't anymore. Batman is dead, and his little costume friends are going to die soon, too.
Oh, shit.
Basically, it's Scarecrow taking away all hope anyone has.
Fuck.
And so they have no idea what to do, basically. They're trying to figure out how to get the word out. And who's going to believe a second Oracle message when that one basically said, I'm Oracle.
Yeah.
So it's just like, so good. It also is dealing with Harley trying to find Ivy, and she finds Queen Ivy, which we talked about those two Ivies now.
Yeah.
Who doesn't seem to have the emotions of Ivy.
Right, it happened in the Swamp Thing book, too.
Yeah,
or she appeared.
She kind of blows off Harley on here, but does show like she might still care about her a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see the other Harley who's living in Alleytown with Catwoman and Selena. So it's really interesting. And then the last thing we see is Jace standing before his Batman suit ready to put it on.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, dude. So it's all going to be like fear state. It's all like fear-based. And this last shot, I forgot about this. Batman trying to escape, jumps out a window, and we got this big, ominous scarecrow face.
Yeah.
So cool. This is like some real straight-up horror shit. I really dig this.
Okay.
So, yeah, really cool. I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what kind of checklist
because I think we know like the Jason Gotham book is going to run through it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It's like I'm wondering how it'll tie in. That part I'd kind of be confused. Well, I know you'll be explaining as you go.
Yeah, and my last solo DC book is Aquaman 80th Anniversary.
Oh,
of course I picked it up. It's 100-page spectacular. So, creative teams. Let's just go through them. Jeff Parker, Evan Shaner, Rob Leigh, Jeff Johns, Paul Pelletier, Norm Rapman, Hi-Fi, Josh Reed, Michael Marici, Pop Mahan, Tony Avina, Wes Abbott, Stephanie Phillips, Henry Persetia, Ulysses Areola, Travis Lanham, Sean Aldridge, Tom Derenick, Nick Filardi, Rob Leigh again, Marguerite Bennett, Trung Lee Nguyen, Jory Belair, Pat Brousseau, Kevin Scott, Scott Eaton, Norm Rapman, Hi-Fi, Rob Leigh again, Dan Waters, Miguel Mendonca, Daniel Henrique, Romulo Fajardo Jr., Rob Leigh again, Dan Jurgens, Steve Epting. Yes, that's right. Dan Jurgens and Steve Epting together.
Damn.
Jeremy Cox, Rob Leigh again, Chuck Brown, Valentin Delandro, Marissa Louise, and Clayton Cowles, with Brandon Thomas, Diego Olortegui. There we go. Wade Von Grawbadger, still the best name in comic books. I don't care what anyone says. Wade Von Grawbadger, so good. Adriana Lucas, and Ann World. So, I'm not going over every one of these stories. Most of them are straightforward Arthur stories, kind of going back to his history, referencing things. It's a lot of fun. There's a couple Black Manta stories, which are pretty good, too. There's several featuring Mara. It's really good. I don't want to talk about it all day long. Pick it up if you like Aquaman, if you want to learn more about Aquaman. There's two stories I'm going to talk about in particular. The first one is, and they're all very short, by the way. They're all like 4 or 5 pages at the most. But this one is the one written by Marguerite Bennett. And with art by Trung Lee Nguyen. And check out this art, dude. I hope you can see it.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
It's like very fairy tale. Like,
yeah.
See, that's Arthur.
Oh my god, really? Okay.
Yeah. And the story is that he runs into some Rhine maidens, water nymphs, and they're basically like they seduce men. Basically, they're sirens, and they're trying to grab Arthur, and Mara shows up and stops them. I love this picture of Arthur. It's like Tintin almost.
It really is. Like,
I love it. So, and basically, in the end, they're able to get the harp, and the harp controls the nymphs, and they're like, no, don't do that. We serve you, I suppose. And they're like, the destruction of love should not be strength, and they destroy the harp. So now no one can control the nymphs, and they're free to do whatever they're going to do and love who they want to love, which is great. I really like that. But the other story I want to focus on And it's the very last story, and I was very upset because I thought I wasn't going to get any Andy Curry in this story, in this book. And after Future State, I need me some Andy Curry. There's a catch. She's a baby.
Oh, okay.
But I'll take it. I'll take it. So, it's basically the Aqua family are vacationing on an island. So it's Mara and Arthur and Andy, little baby Andy, and Jackson, Aqua Lad, future Aquaman. And basically, also, you want to see a himbo ass shot?
Absolutely. Oh my god, yes.
Soaking wet Arthur.
I miss 90s.
Right after that, she's like, I need to show... She grabs him and she's like, I need to show you something over here, and drags him off. Yes. There's a bunch... Like, Jackson... Oh, also, she can't say Jackson, so she calls him Jackson. It's so cute. And then they train together, like doing little baby.
Oh, already starting.
Yeah, and so typical of these things, they get attacked and stuff, and in the end, Jackson protects her, doesn't beat the bad guy, but then Arthur shows up and beats the bad guy. And he's like, "Sorry, I couldn't do it myself." And he's like, "You saved her, like you protected her the whole time."
Yeah,
and it's just like, oh, so it's just a really good setup, and I love that they did this story because it's setting up Aquaman: The Becoming, which is the new Aquaman series starring Jackson as Aquaman, and I love him. So that's going to be cool. We're going to get some baby Andy Curry. Thank you. It was worth it just for that. So the rest of it's good. Don't get me wrong. Now, DC that we share. 3 books. Let's start with Static number 3.
Oh, baby.
Deluxe cover.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. All right. So, of course, Static number 3, part of the Milestone relaunch that DC's doing that we want to encourage as much as we can because it's cool. This is definitely written by Vita Ayala. Penciled, inked, color by Nicholas Draper Ivey. Part of it. And then part of it is penciled, inked by Chris Cross with colors by Willa Quintana, letter by Andworld. This is cool. It's building on what happened. We get to see Static actually make his costume,
yes,
which is dope, and it's an homage to the old one, which I think is pretty cool. So, we also get to see like how the relationship with his family is after the fire at the house and stuff. I think it's really cool to show that like his dad is a supportive dad, even though he's upset about things, still loves him, and is going to do the right thing for him. And stuff.
That callback, when he starts talking about like, I used to watch like all the superhero show stuff with like my dad, and this costume looks like the cartoon costume, and he says the word henshin. It's like yes, yeah. but what he threw on literally looks like the Static show costume. Like the color scheme and the hair and the goggles.
Yeah, exactly. And then what we find out is that the government is basically trying to find all these boom babies, and because Static is late to school, he actually misses out on a bunch of them getting abducted, which he would have been taken with them. Mm-hmm. And he finds out that his arch nemesis, Hot Streak, is telling them who has powers.
Yeah, fucking snitch.
And his last line, "We're missing a few people, but it's all good. I know where they live."
Asshole.
So, like, fucking asshole. They're doing a really good job of building it up as a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
We're 3 issues in, and this is the best Spider-Man book that DC has.
Yes,
like, I don't want to be reductive. It is. It's an awesome young superhero dealing with family problems, school, with a villain that you're immediately like, fuck that guy. Like it's perfect. It's so good. I love this book. Anything else you want to add?
No, I thoroughly love this book, and it's like every single time where it's just like I love it, but then I get in my feels because it's kind of like, God, it's like Vita y'all just writes it so easily that it's just like this origin book, or this book just should have been out years ago. Like this Static should have just already been an established character instead of just like, again, just like starting here, which is a great jumping point. But I would have loved just like already like somewhere else like with Static and already established Static, because we already know and love fucking Virgil. But in this case, it's just like, yeah, but the book itself, nothing wrong with it. It's fucking solid.
Yeah, and Vita's definitely amazing. I think they're probably the perfect choice for this book.
Oh, absolutely. Fuck yeah.
So, yep. Awesome. All right, let's move on to Wonder Girl number 3.
Oh, fuck.
I got the deluxe cover. You want to see it?
Yes. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, and the reason why I said hi, I'm Josue, because it's her, and it's and who might you be?
Yes. Ah, she's so hot.
She's the best.
She's like the hottest fictional character I can think of right now. So, of course, this is the tale of Yara Flor continuing, with everybody trying to find her. Written by Joelle Jones, art by Joelle Jones and Adriana Mello, coloring by Jordi Belair, and letter by Clayton Cowles. So once again, the hunt for her is on. You get to see Cassie Wonder Girl meet Artemis and both fight her and fangirl for her. They end up teaming up, which is fun. But the important thing is Yara Flor comes across Eros,
yes,
the god of love. And she's torn between him and Zhao. And then we finally get an appearance.
Yes.
Of our little friend from the Future State book.
Mm-hmm.
Which I absolutely love seeing that. And basically, Yara Flor has been shot by Eris's arrow and is taken away by Eris. He promises to come back for Zhao, though. So, yeah. And then again, in the background, everybody's fighting. Everybody's trying to find her. Eros takes her up to Mount Olympus, right? Yeah, Mount Olympus.
Yeah.
And presents her to Hera, the goddess Hera. And we still don't know what the big deal is with her as far as they go. We know what the big deal is with us because we love her.
Oh my god, this would be so dope while everybody's fucking around being worried about Yara touching soil. But now she's not there. You're right. She's at Olympus, and the whole time over at the WWE ongoing series, it's her going through the multiverse, but ultimately has to like follow Janice back to Olympus. I'm not saying this Hera is Janice, but what if they actually just is like they're just like fuck everybody. Dana and Yara are just like will hash it out by themselves over here. That'd be really fucking cool if they actually cross over here.
Yeah, definitely. It's just cool. I really, really dig it. Like, love this book. She's amazing.
Oh yeah, totally.
One of the two highlights of Future State for me, and the other being Andy Curry. So, yeah. All right, last DC book, Teen Titans Academy number 6.
Yes.
Deluxe cover once again.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's funny because this book has only been going 6 issues and an annual, but it feels like it's been going like at least 12.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe it's because the annual came at like issue 4. It was very strange. But yeah.
And that yearbook special, right?
Oh, that's what I meant by the annual.
Oh, okay.
So,
that was the annual. Okay.
I think they did call it a yearbook special, though. You're right. Tim Sheridan writing, Rafa Sandoval penciling, Jordi Tarragona inking, Ulysses Ariola coloring, and Rob Lay lettering. So a bunch of the kids go for beach day. And I think it's funny that Chupacabra's there.
Yes.
Because we just dealt with him, and he knows who Red X is, and he's just chilling.
Well, it's him and the big dude.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, him specifically jumped out at me, because he's, like, one of the main characters of this.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I'm kind of like...
He already had his arc.
He's playing it really cool, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like... But I guess that's kind of his thing. He's really good at that stuff, so... But they basically go for a beach day. And, this is a Gorilla Greg book issue.
Yes.
If anybody, I guess, you know, so... It's really cool. Honestly, I'm looking at this beach they're at, and good God, do I want to go to this beach? That looks so comfy. I would just lay there.
It reminds me of just like a bunch of places up here in the PNW. Like just that's kind of how they tend to look sometimes, depending on the spot.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But yeah, just beautiful. Anyways, so they're there, and then a group of them decide to go into town, and they're talking about, wow, this place is really abandoned. And they go into town, and once again, Stitch steals the entire book.
Yes.
As always. So basically, the town appears abandoned, and Stitch uses their magic to make them into the Scooby-Doo bunch. Including making Chupacabra Shaggy, by the way.
Yes.
Which I was like... yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. But basically, they're just trying to investigate what's happening. They're like, get out, and then...
Wait, Chupacabra is Scooby, right? Because
Scooby, what'd I say?
Shaggy.
Oh, I meant Scooby. My bad, sorry. Yeah. And so, a lynch mob shows up and is just like, your kind ain't welcome here. And I think that's cool. I have to ask you, are you open to that page with the lynch mob?
Yeah.
This page right here?
Yeah.
There's a dude in the right, or woman maybe, up in the right corner. What do you think their shirt says? Because it looks like it says only jack off.
Or because it's like we don't get to see like the J to actually insinuate, but maybe we're also just to add, because like only jack off doesn't really make sense. I'm wondering if we're also blocking the I after only, and that would just complete this shirt. But at the same time, like, dude, what the fuck are you wearing?
I desperately want a shirt that just says only jack off. I'm sure it's back off. But I don't think it's going to be only. It's got to be a different word there, so we'll see. But yeah, basically, long story short, they attack and they kidnap Gorilla Greg. Also, Chupacabra calls Stitch Dollface.
Yep.
And Stitch says, I smell a subplot.
Yes! That was so cute.
Yeah. And then they go to find Gorilla Greg. They do the let's split up thing. And of course, Stitch and Chupacabra end up together.
Yes.
They're running around, they're investigating. Both groups end up coming to the same place in the end. And they all get knocked down. Chupacabra lands on top of Stitch, and he goes, and Stitch goes, subplot?
Subplot? Yes.
Yeah. I love it. It's so much fun. And in the end, we find out that the people who kidnapped them are most likely being controlled by Gorilla Grodd, because he is a psychic, ape that can control people. So, who is Gorilla Greg's uncle.
Yeah.
So this is going to be one of those rare things that's actually going to be a true two-parter for Teen Titans Academy.
Yeah.
Because most of it's one-shots. So I'm curious to see where that goes. It's been fun. Lots of character development. I think they're doing a good job with such a large cast of slowly giving us bits with each one.
Yes.
So, like, we're starting to remember characters. We're starting to, see connections between them, things like that.
Or at this point, actually making relationships out of them, or potential relationships, like with Stitch and Chupacabra, which is just, again, super fucking adorable.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, but really, really enjoyable. I'm digging it. It's one of my favorite DC books. So,
yeah.
But I'm a sucker for a superpowered teen high school, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take it in any form. I don't care. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to our final publisher, and that is Marvel.
Yes. Where are we starting?
We have a very unique Marvel week because Josue doesn't have a single solo book.
Oh, yeah.
And we share all but 2 books. So it's going to be a lot of us discussing back and forth. But I will start with my solos, as always. Star Wars, The High Republic.
Mm-hmm.
I almost picked up the variant cover for this because it had Skier, and I usually tend towards variants, but cover A has my girl looking badass.
That is really cool.
So, yeah. In this is post the fight with the Drengar, the plant people. They finished off, but it was all a cover for the Nihil, which is also in the High Republic Adventures. They're kind of like vaguely crossing over with each other. And long story short, we see a ship, like an independent ship, getting attacked by the Jedi. And who's the captain, but our girl, Keith Trennis.
Yeah.
Looking like a badass with one of the 2 twins, right?
Right.
What this is her posing as a bad guy to go undercover with the Nihil. And to prove it, she blows up one of the Jedi's ships that's being remote controlled. No one knows it. So she basically proves it, and she has to go undercover, and there's a lot of like, when you're undercover, this is what you're going to have to do and things like that. And so they tell her, like, this is the warband you're a part of and all this stuff. And one of them says, you'll be tested. The only way you'll gain your trust, the only way. And she just immediately takes the dude down and like insults him and is like, what do you think? And this is to answer your question. And they're like, all right, you're one of us. But in the end, they say, to prove yourself, bring the prisoner in. If you are who you say you are, you'll do as you're told. And split this stinking hut's skull in 2.
Oh shit!
So she's got to like kill a hut.
Yeah.
To prove that she's one of them. So. Yeah, and it's a hut that she knows from the war that they just had. So. Yeah, really interesting book.
Damn,
I love
nice.
this book. It's just been such a great book. So, written by Kevin Scott. I forgot the creative team. Art by Ariana Nandito. Color by Rochelle Rosenberg. Inked by Mark Morales, Victor Olazaba, Sean Parsons, and Mark Deering, and letter by Ariana Mayer. And then my last Marvel solo book is Web of Spider-Man number 4 of 5.
Ooh, okay.
Many. So, written by Kevin Shinnick. Art by Alberto Albuquerque, color by Rochelle Rosenberg, and letter by Travis Lanham. You might remember the Genius team, made it to Paris, and they ran to Amadeus Cho.
Yeah.
Who's basically there on Tony Stark's behalf to yell at them. And he's like, one of you is basically doing this, like, you're behind it. And they're like, no, idiot. And he thinks it's the real Green Goblin, and they're like, no, it's clearly a virtual Green Goblin of some kind. And they kind of have to use, again, their brains to do it. So that's the whole idea behind this book, is that in the end they have to use their brains. And half of them go into virtual reality to fight the virus from within the computer, and the other half stay out and fight. The half that stay out and fight are, of course, Squirrel Girl, Peter, which, keep in mind, none of them know that he is Spider-Man.
Oh, ooh, okay.
So he can't be Spider-Man. And Amadeus, of course. So it's the big heavy hitters. The three without powers are the ones that go into virtual reality. They're fighting this robot Green Goblin while they're hacking it. They basically give the virus a virus. It's pretty funny. And they defeat the Green Goblin. And they find out who's behind all of it. And in the end, it's Mendel Strom. And that's why they leave off.
Okay.
So,
this fucking guy.
only one issue left, so it's been fun. It's a nice, fun introductory thing. Kind of reminds me of like educational shows for kids that are actually fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, now we're going to get into the best of the best.
Oh, boy. Great week. Man. Great fucking week on Marvel.
We have 5 issues left of Marvel, but man, these issues. Oh.
6? No, it is 5. No, 6.
What do you have?
Wait, Demon Days, Dark Ages, Sinister, Wiccan, and Hulkling on the 2 X books?
Oh, I didn't put Sinister on the list.
Oh, okay.
That's why I missed it. Okay. I'll have to add that. Okay, but we're going to start with Wiccan and Hulkling, then Last Annihilation.
Oh, okay.
So I went with this cover.
The variant? Oh, bro, they look so gay to each other, and I love it. That's why I had to get it.
Yeah. Written by Anthony Oliveira. Drawn by Jean Bazadour. Colored by Rochelle Rosenberg. Lettered by Ariana Mayer. So as we know, Billy and Tommy, or not Tommy, that'd be odd because they're brothers. Billy and Teddy are on different planets fighting for the Skrull and Kree Empire, the Unified Empire. And I like this because it is a really good addition to The Last Annihilation, which I've been reading.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a throwaway story. Sometimes these one-shots can be like, this doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But there was a purpose to this one. And specifically, we know that Teddy's sword was destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And this issue is about Wiccan trying to fix it. I absolutely love that Avalanche gets called in and immediately fucks up. And so he's like, yeah, if anyone asks, my name is Richter. That's really funny. And basically, in the end, they're both hopeless. They're both in a bad situation. Interspersed in this is flashbacks to how they first met, which was fucking cute, by the way.
So good.
The part that really got to me was when Billy was talking to Teddy's mom.
Yes.
Because of what happens to her in the end.
Oh, I know,
she
right?
Dies for him,
yeah.
And like, she's been protecting him her entire life. It's not her kid, but it is her kid, And she's like, you seem like a good kid and all this. And she's like, take care of him. And I'm like, oh my God.
Off the bat, she just knows. The look she gives him is just so cute.
Yeah. So Billy gets teased for being gay. Teddy's not openly gay. At least at first, it seems like. But he also doesn't keep a secret of it.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem like he's denying it. He's not a closeted jock, It just apparently didn't come up. But basically they both reveal they have powers at the same time. And they kiss, and it's cute, and it's adorable, and everything is great. But one of the best things ever, I just absolutely loved this. The original Captain Marvel had the Negabands that were like the source of his power.
Yes.
These bracelets. And they actually used them to destroy the Kree homeland. They sabotaged them, and they blew up and destroyed the Kree homeland. And whenever Captain Marvel and Rick Jones, who both wore the Negabands, they, touched them, and then they'd switch places.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they found what's left of the Negabands, and
it was just enough.
Teddy went to Asgard, had them recast it for Asgardian, which is Wiccan's name, the hero of the siege, and now he holds out 2 rings. These are what's left of Captain Marvel's legacy. All I have of them. And they have 2 rings made from the Negabands that allows them to swap places.
And now as little wedding bands, just perfect.
It's so good, dude. I was like, this is fucking beautiful. Like, I was just like, this is such great storytelling.
It's cool because Doric is just fucking explaining everything, puts his fist up. But I love Billy's face, his serious face when he's raising his fist with the ring. So good, he's not fucking around.
And they're able to switch places, which allows them to do their thing. Because Wiccan fixes the sword, but Wiccan's not going to use the sword. Hulkling is.
Yep.
They switch places. Hulkling gets the sword. He's like, "Hey, Dormammu, it's a magic sword." Stab, 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 basically. So they're able to fix each other's problems. And then I really love that the book ends right at the beginning of Young Avengers.
Young Avengers, yes.
Which was so cool. I really dug this. I'm going to have Liz read this because she loves Young Avengers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I loved this. This is how you do a tie-in.
Yeah.
It mattered, but it wasn't. It's not imperative.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But it mattered, and it was totally worth it on its own. So we only have 2 bits of Last Annihilation left. Last Annihilation Wakanda and Guardians of the Galaxy 18.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. Which is good. I'm glad it's not too big because we have the Darkhold saga coming up. And
that's true.
I'm going to get all that. All right. Next up is Dark Ages. Dark Ages number 1. Okay. This way. What
yes.
cover did you get?
Just cover A. Let me see. I almost wanted that one. I do want that one.
It's so fucking cute.
It's so adorable.
In a dark way. It's great. All right. Here we go. Written by Tom Taylor. Drawn by Ivan Coelho. Colored by Brian Reber and lettered by Joe Sabino. We should tell you this is an alternate reality story. It's not the mainline Marvel universe.
I didn't know that.
Oh.
That's what made it so cool for me. Obviously off the bat, it's very apparent that it is a what if. And that's why I was like, okay, fucking cool. Let's go at it. Nothing matters here. It's just going to be a dope story. Because we haven't gotten one of these in a while. A cool side what if story that doesn't have to really pertain to the main continuity, but it was just a fun little teller. At least not one with this kind of scale. This first issue reminded me of the first time you read Marvel Zombies. It was just such a cool scale. It was borderline scary and there were fucking stakes. So
we got Heroes Reborn, but that was different. And that was kind of tied to the real reality.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get what you're saying though. So it opens up and they tell you straight up right away that it's not the mainline MCU because May Parker, Mayday Parker, that is.
Yes.
The baby is there. So we know it's not the mainline universe right away.
And also Peter's hanging out with Luke and Jessica, which almost never happens anymore.
Yeah, I know. I wish that happened more. I like the street level New York heroes hanging out.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah. So basically May's on the ceiling. She's a little kid at this point. And then something's coming, and the spiders felt it first, which is a great line, by the way. That was such a great dialogue, or interior dialogue story. All the spider people, all their spider senses are going crazy, including little baby May, who's crying and is sad. Luna, Moon Girl, that is Lunella, sorry.
Lafayette.
She's the smartest person on the planet, so she sees something's happening, and she races to go talk to the second smartest person on the planet, Reed Richards. We get a lot of stuff going on in this one. The mutants are reacting, and it's very clear they're not on Krakoa.
Yeah.
So I thought that was another instance, this is clearly another reality, Apocalypse is not with them. He's obviously a bad guy in this. We'll get to that. Long story short, the Watcher shows up, And it's like, yo, the world's ending. The Earth has hours. And he's like, there's a robot in the Earth. The Living Tribunal turned it off. It's been turned back on. It's going to destroy the Earth. And they do this quick expository stuff to just get to the point, which I loved. Because like, let's not drag it. And they're like, okay, so we assembled a strike team. And I love the reasons for these characters. The Vision, a living machine to fight a living machine.
Yep.
The Scarlet Witch, a shaper of reality to fight against a being who could unmake it. Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme to fight the pinnacle of technology. The Invisible Woman to protect him from the heat of the Earth's core. And the Thing, in case anything could be solved by hitting it really hard.
Yeah.
Love it. For the spoilers, no, that didn't help. They get down there and they fight the robot, and it's fucking gigantic and looks cool as shit.
Yeah.
It's essentially Marvel. That's a Marvel design.
Oh, yeah.
That's what so many characters in Marvel look like Strife and Nimrod.
It's like Strife and a Celestial have just fucking had a baby.
Yeah, basically. So. We also get cutaways to places like Wakanda, to Canada.
I like that. I like how Wakanda was fine because they're on a foundation of vibranium, so it really wouldn't shake up there, but everywhere else gets really fucked.
The real sad one was Namor watches hopelessly as Atlantis is swallowed by the Earth.
He can't do anything about it. Still rocking the sleeves though, which is great.
Yeah. We get to see team ups like the X-Men, the Avengers, the Runaways.
Yes.
And the Champions, which was cool. Then we go to the fight in the core, and the Thing is vaporized immediately.
Like literally like Days of Future, like Wolverine Days of Future's Past vaporized.
Yeah, that's almost a shot for shot exact look of that.
Yeah, right.
And of course, Sue's watching this. She's doing the bubble. Scarlet Witch attempts to reshape reality, but despite still waking to its full powers, the Unmaker simply unmade everything she tried to do.
Yeah.
And then unmade Wanda.
Right in front of Vision.
Vision loses his shit, flies into the robot's head, buys them a few seconds. It doesn't actually say what happens to Vision, does it?
No, he could still just be there.
So Invisible Woman keeps her shield up, and Doctor Strange, in desperation, reaches out to other realities. He opens a portal to a dimension where no electricity could function. An electromagnetic. This is such a convoluted, but amazing way to get to where we're going. Like, giant robot can only be defeated by an electromagnetic pulse. Let's find a world that is only an electromagnetic pulse. Such a ridiculous way to get to it, but it's so funny to me that they're just like, let's just get where we need to go. We know what we want, what story we want to tell.
Yeah.
Let's just get there somehow. And I love that. And boom, electromagnetic pulse hits, and it starts wrecking the robot. It takes one last lash out, stabs Doctor Strange, who portals Sue Storm away. So yes, the only survivor of that group is Sue Storm, presuming the Vision's dead. Sue Storm is overpowered, and I've said it before. So she gets teleported away. Because Strange dies, the portal never closes.
Yeah.
And there's a constant EMP growing and growing and growing, and all electricity around the world fails. And I love the different ways they realize how this would impact things.
Oh my god. Every single panel was giving me chills after chills. Like, no.
Like the helicarrier just dropping out of the sky.
2 panels after that.
Yeah. And then
the switches. The fucking switches.
Oh, no. We'll get there. Iron Man's suit just stopping. Ant-Man can no longer grow or shrink, and he's stuck big, it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, like, he's still a human body, like, again, like the whole thing, like, does anybody have any orange slices? It takes a toll on a man. All right, he's gonna be done.
Yeah. Pacemakers. Normal people, pacemakers. And then we see Vision just says artificial life.
Yeah.
And she's laying there. And then we get web shooters.
Oof.
Where Peter's web shooters give out. He finds their apartment building. He's back. Luke and Jessica are there, and they're like, your family, MJ, Aunt May, and they're all in there. I think it's it says May, which would be the daughter, but I think Aunt May's in that picture, or they just put a random old lady next to them. So we'll talk about that.
You're right.
But basically, Spider-Man's like, they're dead. This building fucking fell on them. And then a rock lifts up, and little baby May Parker is fucking pressing this gigantic stone
Like,
it's like, Dad.
She had her own ASM moment, like or like Spider-Man Homecoming moment, like lifting the rubble at such a tender young infant age. Amazing, literally amazing.
Yeah. So that happens. Mary Jane's okay, and then we cut to Peter with some gray around his temples, very Mr. Fantastic style.
Yeah.
It says 7 years ago, the world we knew was ended, and we built another world to be proud of. But years after the lights went out, after the end, came the apocalypse.
Yeah.
And we can speculate if you want.
Oh, we can just definitely tell who these people are.
That is definitely a Venom of some sort.
A Venom Miles.
Is it Miles? I didn't see a symbol.
It's definitely. I mean, it's a suit. Like the way the way the reds come down, like over his shoulders, like all the black and like the specific reds on the black. That's Miles.
Yeah, the steampunk Iron Man.
Yeah.
I think that's Scar, the Hulk's son.
I mean, also the Scar. I mean, the Scar has never really worn those also like white and purple. White and purple
can change. There's a steampunk Iron Man.
White and purple. I mean, white and purple tends to be Jen's colors.
Yeah, but it looks like a dude.
We'll see.
Yeah, and that's definitely Beast.
Oh yeah,
obviously. And then the other two, I think, are just Reavers. Maybe
didn't we get like that's actually Frenzy? Like, oh no, never mind.
Well, it looks like Lady Deathstrike.
It is Lady Deathstrike, yeah.
Claws, but Lady Deathstrike's not darker skinned.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's, obviously he could have just created something. That could be Forge?
Oh, in the back, I mean, I think that's actually... Reed didn't die. I thought that was Reed.
No, but they got goggles on. That's a Forge thing. Like on their forehead.
Yeah, but
it doesn't look like Reed to me.
The elongated
Although
fingers?
They are stretching.
The elongated fingers.
I was just thinking because they were both, like, they're right next to another person, elongated fingers.
I know they never draw...
I didn't really put that together.
I know they never draw Forge like that Native American, but this guy looks a little too white to be Forge as well. That's why I'm thinking Reed after maybe like the Thing dying and then whatever Sue came back with.
I'm looking at the cover for the next issue, and that's definitely Miles. You're right.
Oh, yeah,
Mask was there. So... But yeah, dude, this is a cool setup.
Oh yeah, dude, I fucking
off with a bang.
I loved it.
So good. I know. I read it first, and I messaged you like, "Did you get it?" You're like, "I'm like, have you read it?" You're like, "No." I'm like, "Fucking read it now." It's so good.
It was just
up your
so
alley.
fun. It was just so fun. I haven't had a good I haven't had like a good myself feel book from Marvel that just wasn't in continuity or an event book that just give me these cool feels like Marvel being cool.
And just embraces. I remember Tom Taylor was tweeting. Somebody's like, "Are you going to kill a major character and like being all sarcastic? Are you going to kill a major character in Dark Ages?" He's like, "It's cute. You think I'm going to kill one?"
Love it.
Yeah. So yeah, fuck yeah, dude. So good. All right, from the beginning of a crossover to the end of a crossover, Sinister War #4.
Damn.
I went with this one.
That's a cool one. Yeah.
It just seemed to have the most of all the villains. I was just like,
I think that's supposed to be part of like the full connecting variant. Yeah. So to get all the variants, all the villains.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. All right, written by Ed Brisson and Nick Spencer, and this is Spencer's swan song, right?
To the event, he still has 2 more issues.
Do the next the wedding.
Yeah, he still has 2 ASM issues.
Penciled by Mark Bagley and Dio Neves and Marcelo Ferreira. Inked by Andrew Hennessy, Andy Owens, Dio Neves, and Marcelo Ferreira. Colors by Brian Reber and Andrew Crossley, and letter by Joe Caramagna. So Peter's getting attacked by 37 villains. And when we last saw Boomerang tricked the other villains into thinking Spidey got away. You're looking at me directly in the camera because you know what's coming. I was right. So he tricked them and he got away. Long story short, he's about to get away. He fights Sin Eater. He blows off Sin Eater's hands, which was hilarious.
I love that. It's like, oh, he's undead, so fuck his hands. I don't have to go full morals here.
Yeah, all these villains are fighting him. And Morlun gets his hands. Morlun of all people.
I can't believe I was an idiot. Last time we were thinking, I was like, oh, is that Morbius? Is like, oh my God.
I know, right? I felt like I've never read a comic before in my life.
I know, and then they even like give me like the number. It's like, oh my God, and it's like I fucking love The Other, which is like the whole fucking Moreland event for Straczynski, and like I feel like I was reading it as like I'm a fucking moron.
Yeah. So Moreland gets a hold of Peter and he starts draining his life. And Boomerang jumps in, saves Peter. He says, Spider-Man, please run. And Moreland drains the life from Boomerang. Boomerang dies to save Peter. That's an arc right there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Peter, instead of running away, actually gets angry and starts fighting.
As he would.
Yeah, he's like, you killed him. And he kind of comes to the grips of like, I'm not running away. I can't run away at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see that Boomerang's team finds him dead. And it's like, why would he do that? Because none of this is right. No matter what happens, we're all going to die. He just chose to die on his own terms.
Yeah.
And then Boomerang's Sinister Six turns on the others and starts helping Peter.
Yeah.
And I got like a legit like swell of like, fuck yeah.
Yes.
Of me when that happened. Like, because his team is a lot of the villains I genuinely like.
Mm-hmm.
So like Hydro Man is basically a good guy for all intents and purposes, usually, and Shocker's great.
He's a classic, yeah.
Yeah, so I was just kind of like, yeah, they're helping him. But it comes down to Peter and Doc Ock. And then Doc Ock does something, says this farce ends now, sets something off, and all the little fucking centipedes that Kindred was using to control the others by basically saying, I'll kill you if you don't do this. Doc Ock is like, no one controls Doc Ock. And shuts them all off. And now they're all unconscious except for Doc Ock. And he's like, listen, these people still want to kill you. You should probably get the fuck out. And so Peter leaves. And we get the cut back to Mephisto and Strange to kind of wrap up the story, being like, oh, he survived this one. Perhaps you should celebrate the small victories. I have a feeling a big loss is imminent. So, this is one of two things. Is Aunt May going to die again?
Well, she didn't last time. That was the thing.
But we know what's coming.
I don't want MJ to die.
No, I don't think MJ's going to die.
I was feeling that. And then I read Dark Ages, but because we got that bait and switch, I feel like now it's going to happen in continuity instead.
Did you see the cover of that issue coming up? Them having on their wedding stuff. They're not going to fucking kill her. Like that would be fucking.
Or at the very least, I'm pretty sure they're not going to marry them probably now, just to keep them single. They will.
It's just for them to be together. Aunt May has to be dead. That was the deal.
That'll be the major loss.
So, but I think it's a bait and switch because it's Mephisto talking to Doctor Strange, and what big crossover do we have coming up? The death of Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah. Oh shit.
I think it's Doctor Strange's death Mephisto's talking about.
Ooh.
I think that's the bait and switch.
But not in the Strange book?
What do you mean?
Like have him die in a Spider book and not in his book?
No, I think they're teasing us.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see.
Mephisto, he's the devil.
He's okay. He's teasing a different book. I see. Yeah, I get when they do that.
So yeah, but yeah, really cool. I like how this ended up. It was cool seeing all the villains.
Yeah.
Boomerang. Man. A boy to the end. Like
yeah, I got it. God, I hate to say it, but it was fun when he was rolling around with Peter. Those are some fun bro times, even though I was keeping him at arm's length. And then when he betrayed us, and it was just like, you fuck. And then, damn, it really did feel for him. He was just an asshole. Like the Superior Foes of Spider-Man. Fantastic, underrated book that dealt with Boomerang. It was kind of him running that team. He just hated him. He just sucks. And for Nick Spencer to actually turn him around and be fucking like just one of the guys, like fucking A.
It's funny because he betrayed Peter to save his own life.
Yes,
but in the end, he gave his life for Peter.
Right. I mean, like ever since he did that,
did he know like this whole crossover was coming, and he knew he needed to be in the right place to help Peter? Maybe that was his plan all along.
I mean, ever since he did it, ever since we and we would touch back with him, you can just see that it was just like hanging over him. So it was just like probably like his thing was like, this is like my one shot at redemption. I just thought like the guilt was really fucking getting to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it was fun. Like for like a sweet 4 issues, or like another, I guess 8 issues with like the ASM tie-ins going back and forth. But this one was really fun. Like this event was really fun. It reminded me of his first event back in Hunted, when he got just like the animal base, or when Craven got the animal-based villains in Central Park, and he was doing his hunting his fucking sport. So the craziness of that like reminded me like back at this one too.
Yeah, definitely. Really, really cool. Dug it. All right. Next up, something we've been waiting a little while for.
Yeah.
Demon Days, Cursed Web. So I did of course, get this cover.
Yeah.
But I also got this cover.
Oh, wow. I did not see any variants for this book.
Yeah. I didn't even get the A in this case. So, which I should have because it was great. But story and art by Peach Momoko. English adaptation and dialogue by Zach Davison and letter by Ariana Mayer. So we're continuing the Mariko Yoshida story. I love that we're getting a Mariko Yoshida alternate universe story.
Yeah.
Like, what Mad Lib did they do to get that? You know what I mean? Like, Mariko Yoshida of all people. But it's so dope. It's just this awesome, like, fairy tale with all these Japanese bits and with Oni and vengeance, but they're using Marvel characters. In this case, two of the bad guys are Mystique and Sabretooth.
Mm-hmm.
We see Logan the Wolf.
Yeah, again.
Which I love Logan the Wolf. He's fantastic. And basically, Mariko's trying to find, her real, if you will, and she's trying to, and the evil Oni's trying to capture her, and she sends the two of them, and Sabretooth ends up getting killed, and we also get a really creepy cut to Black Widow being hung up. That was creepy as shit.
Yeah, that was definitely different.
And we see Halbo, who's like a little baby, and it's like, she's not for eating. And I'm like, what the fuck's with that baby? I'm like, what the fuck's happening here? But yeah, it's just kind of a cool crossover. And Mystique transforms herself into Black Widow to try to trick her. It was just a lot of fun. And they end up fighting. Mystique ends up losing an arm, which was dope.
So cool. Well, I like that part with the yo-yo, like the venom on the string to actually get to her. That was really cool.
Yeah. But in the end, the only thing that matters is we got a second Chibi Storm in 2 weeks. I don't know. I didn't know I needed a Chibi Storm, but goddamn, do I have two of them, and I love them.
Absolutely. Now I just need this like team up of just these two, just like alternate versions of meeting up.
And of course, Thor looking badass.
These
it seems like they're actually good guys. Like they're undercover,
right? I'm really curious about them. These like thunderclapping Onis are just like, they look so fucking cool, especially for like the cover, like at the end, like for like the next one.
Oh yeah,
they look so cool. Like I like how Storm just looks older in this one, so I'm wondering if she's like kind of a shapeshifter, like type of deity. But the Thor with the mask like looks so cool. Like love it.
Yeah, it's so sick.
What is it? Oh, Rising Storm is the next one. I love it. I love these names.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so good. Really enjoying that. And that leads us to our X-Men books.
Oh god, how are we doing this?
I picked these in a specific order.
Okay.
And I'm going with Hellions first.
Yeah, we're doing this in the actual order.
Yeah. Hellions 15. It was tough actually deciding which one to do first this week. Because I was like, I really like both these books, but written by Zeb Wells, drawn by Roger Antonio, colored by Rain Burrito, and letter by Ariana Mayer. And to be honest, because I know what's coming in New Mutants, we're going to address Scout. That's why I saved it for last.
Oh, okay.
To read it too, even.
Yeah.
So I got this variant cover.
Ah, sick.
That is sick as hell. I had to get it. I saw it and I'm like, I'm getting that right now. So
that almost looks like Stephanie Hans. Is it?
It is.
Oh, okay.
It is Stephanie Hans. Yeah, you got the little SH.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there's the credit too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I love it. It's beautiful. Okay, so we're following up on the two Sinisters, and God, Sinister's the fucking worst. Basically, we had Tarn the Uncaring show back up. We've talked about this in the past with his little version of the Hellions.
Yeah.
And Sinister in his version of the Hellions. And he reveals, hey, Sinister left you to die. And they're like, fuck. And then immediately Sinister summons a bunch of clones of himself and then bombs the fuck out of it. Sinister and Sinister are out looking at like the cloning thing while the the Hellions deals with what's going on, and they find out that Betsy knew what was going on, and that Sinister's been blackmailing her with her daughter. We also start to get some like teases about amino fetus.
Oh fuck!
And about how he is terrifying.
Oh my god!
But before we get to that, Grey Crow is incredible.
Oh.
He takes his gun out and then removes a bunch of parts from his mechanical leg and stuff and builds it into a gigantic fucking gun and just starts blasting them, and it's so sick looking. And I love the bit, like, basically, amino fetus, the whole thing is he can't eat, is what we've been told.
Yeah.
If he eats, the infants come, the enders of all. They do not feed on life, but the strands of time.
Yeah.
And so the universe finds annihilation. And so, while this is happening, it's like Grey Crow's killing everybody, and Amino Fetus is eating. And to the point that Tarn, who is confronting the Sinisters, says, "Fuck this," and goes back. And is like, "Stop, you'll bring oblivious to us all." And Grey Crow, "See my face? See the crazy fuck who doesn't care?" Like, it's like, and then yeah. It's so good, dude. And
God,
all of a sudden, Amino Fetus just starts spawning little infants, and it's fucking horrifying. The best part was Nanny saying that man is a terrible father. Nanny keeps stealing the show, and it's fucking Nanny. Like, I still can't believe it. Remember when this book was announced, and I'm like, Nanny? I'm like, really? I barely remember that character.
And then and then also like we had like, and okay, well, so Orphan Maker too, but now we're just like, Orphan Maker is like one of the strongest things inside the husk. Why? And now we're like actually scared of him.
Yeah. And in the end, we discover what the Sinisters made was a chimera. That's the future of mutants. Sinister with the power of God, who looks awful like Tarn, by the way.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. And then that's when the group finds out that he has Psylocke's son. That's what he's been keeping.
Mm-hmm.
And I love this because Psylocke's like, "Please, John, don't." He's like, "Stop. You don't even have to ask." Like, he's like, "Oh, I get it." You know? I like it because he's a bad guy too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, "I get it. I've done the same thing." Like, it's not going to be some torturous forgive me moment.
Or he's still not like, "Nah, I'm pissed." Like, fuck that.
Yeah. So they're about to hatch it, and Empath takes control of Havoc and basically makes him go out of control. Empath whispers in Sinister's ear. Emma says hello.
Oh,
Havoc explodes, destroys everything.
Oh, man.
This book is great.
So the people who I tend to roll with at my LARP are, for the most part, either chaotic evil, if you will. So we're pretty much like back when we were alive, we would say, "Fuck Camp says hello" to a lot of people that we would kill. To the people who would need to hear it, other than that, we would just blame it on the town over, like the good guys. We would literally mark someone and be like, "Citadel says hello." Just like to see if that would actually catch on. So him saying Emma says hello to Sinister, oh, mwah, beautiful.
Yeah. Just so good. And I'm curious to see where this goes. And that appears to be the only copy of Psylocke's daughter's DNA. I said son earlier. I meant to say daughter.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, right. It's supposed to be. It's like it's not even backed up on Cerebro, which is like, yeah, like Sinister would keep it.
So that's fucked up. Are we gonna blame Havoc not knowing that Empath is the one that did it?
Oh my god, I know. Or like when they ask me, like, "What the fuck?" and he'll be like, "I don't know." But like
they're not backed up.
Yeah.
So it's fucked up.
It was such a fucked up book. Yeah.
Plus Amino Fetus is doing the baby thing.
That was a really that reveal.
Happening there.
Even like we get like the numbered cycle is like cool. So you have to like throw it in a black hole so it absorbs the black hole, and thus we get it starts over. Like the cycle starts over as the seed, as the going to like the embryo, and to keep it as the amino fetus. Like, God, that's just terrifying. I mean, for Tarn to be like everybody's beneath me, like I'm the strongest thing and he can fucking prove it, to be like, time out, time the fuck out, I will be back, but I fucking had to just shut up, I'll be back. He was out of there.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Yeah. All right, and then that brings us to our final book of the week, and that's New Mutants number 21.
Ooh.
So, written by Vida Ayala, drawn by Rod Reese, and lettered by Travis Lanham with Joe Caramagna.
God damn, this plot A is just so good.
The Warpath one?
Oh god, yeah.
So Warpath takes a group of kids onto the moon, and he's just like, we're here to clean up space slugs. And they get attacked by the Brood, who they apparently have a partnership with, an agreement with, that it just goes out the window, apparently. We'll come back to that. We also deal with the group. The main story is the group with Shadow King and dealing with the fact that Scout was killed.
Mm-hmm.
And Wolfsbane being like, basically, I want to help you, you know, I understand where you're coming from, and she's having like gaps in her memory and stuff. And they find out that Wolfsbane's the last person to see Scout alive. And she's like, you know, I'm going to work it out. Let's see what happens here. And they're like, hey, we're going to bring Gabby back, basically. And they're like, oh, are you sure? And so there's actually two versions of Gabby running around because No Girl's still in the dead body.
Oh,
they don't address that. So, I mean, I don't know if they just chucked it
really?
off the cliff or something.
And they're just like carrying, or because Cosmar is carrying No Girl, but I guess like actual No Girl would be floating herself, right? So is what
you mean the brain?
Right, the brain.
Yeah, I mean, she's got to be there, but she was possessing the body.
Yeah. Oh shit.
So,
okay.
Which is kind of fucked up. I think they should put Martha in a body. You know?
Yeah.
It's kind of fucked up. They don't. So, but yeah, they're dealing with that. We go back to the Brood, and the Brood are like actually attacking, even though Brew is supposed to be in charge.
Mm-hmm.
And so all these students are like, oh, they're fighting. They work together and they kill one. Good job. Well, there's 100 coming. It's like, fuck. And right hidden in the middle of this is this interesting little info page from the 5.
Oh, God, yes.
Talking about resurrecting no copies. Mm-hmm. And it's like, genetically derivative or genetically identical individuals are not necessarily dupes because twins exist even among humans. Mutants such as Gabby Kinney, Madeline Pryor.
Yep.
And Evan Sabanur, which is Kid Apocalypse. I totally forgot about him.
Mm-hmm.
And others in situations like theirs are their own people regardless of genetics. Cerebro only recognizes individuals, not dupes, and all of the above are registered and stored in the system as individuals. We formally request that you update the understanding of personhood accordingly, as the narrow definition is counter to the point of our work.
And fucking boom, Council. How about that?
Yeah. So
I love that if you have to be part of the 5, you just have to have excellent penmanship. Everybody's signature is just so perfect.
Egg's name's not like
Egg. I would expect Egg to be like a little more just not
E is
that.
backwards and shit. I am Egg. But yeah, Gabby comes back to life and she attacks Wolfsbane. She's like, you're the one that killed me.
Mm-hmm.
Basically. They're trying to figure out what's going on. And first of all, can I just say what a relief it is that Scout's actually back? I was kind of worried they weren't going to bring her back.
Me too.
And I've genuinely loved this character since they've been using her. So up on the moon, they defeat the Brood, and then Brood shows up. He's like, great job, guys.
This little fucking dude.
You're like, yeah, don't we have an agreement? He's like, oh, those are rebels.
I was actually on my way to tell you to maybe cancel today's trip.
Yeah. And then we get the New Mutants meeting of the 4 of the original New Mutants that aren't in space, basically.
Yeah.
Except for Magma's not here. But yeah. So Karma, Mirage, and Magic is drinking out of a pot plant, basically. So she's drinking that much. And she basically is like, I'll fucking kill Shadow King if you want. And she's the best. That's when Wolfsbane shows up and she reveals something happened. He's doing something to me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you who, but he killed another mutant because she can't tell him because Gabby, because she doesn't know if they were actually allowed to bring Gabby back yet.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And that's when...
And Shadow King's just ready.
Yeah, Magic says, it's enough of the soft touch, and then Shadow King's ready. Yeah, come and play. I think we're kind of wrapping up the Shadow King story.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is good, because he creeps me out a little bit. I don't really like Shadow King.
At this point, yeah, I'm definitely sure creeping out. Because I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. Everybody gets a second chance at Krakoa, but yeah, at this point, I'm like, bro, you're fucking done.
Not him. No, he's the one I've never trusted at all. So, but yeah. Anything else to add?
I did tweet about it, but I have to give it a shout out. What a fantastic fucking book! Four Kids Walk Into a Bank. Wow, I was blown away by it. It was hilarious. Dude, I was laughing out loud at how hilarious it was, only to be just incredibly heartbroken at the end. I was like, so good. I highly recommend everybody reading like this Black Mass book. Four Kids Walk Into a Bank. It's out in a trade. It's been out, so definitely look it out. If you need this like wholesome group of kids who plan on robbing a bank and it doesn't go the way you think it's going to go. And fuck, it was such a strong book. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, and especially tangentially related, if you really like Reservation Dogs, maybe that might be something that appeals to you. Actually.
You know what? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely a good, just like to have those two like in media on hand.
Yeah. But that's written by Matt Rosenberg, by the way, who is one of my favorite comic book writers.
And Boss, and drawn by Boss, who did Dead Dog's Bite.
Yep, exactly. So, and that's a Black Mass book too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So definitely check that out. As far as myself, I did finish the Crows duology. I don't think I talked about it last week.
We were tweeting about it, but yeah. I was messaging, yeah.
Yeah. For set in the Shadow and Bone storyline, it's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I love every character. As a writer, I read it, and I was like, the choices were the right choices.
Nice.
There was not a single choice I thought, no, don't do that.
Where you analyze it, it's like, I would have done this, or that should have been different. No, that's cool.
And there are stakes, and you'll just love every character by the end of it. And the LGBT representation is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jesper, one of the main characters. This is not a big spoiler, but basically, long story short, one character, someone uses their powers to make him look like another character.
Okay.
It's these two young boys that they look exactly like now. And Jesper is omnisexual, like completely. And he really likes the boy before he's transformed.
Oh.
And then he starts to kind of be like, I like you in this form too. Maybe I just like you. And then so he goes in to talk to the boy, and the boy's just sitting at a piano, and he's talking to him. And the boy looks at him and smiles, and they kiss. And then the boy walks in the room, and he realizes he's kissing the original, not the duplicate. So now now that one's jealous.
Yeah.
And there's this like 3-way relationship where they both want him, and he's torn, and it's so gay, and it's so amazing.
A gay little love triangle. That's adorable.
Because the boy originally he had like strawberry blonde curls and cute, sparkly eyes. He was very adorable, very twinky. You know what I mean? Like, and when he got transformed, he was more like swarthy, more like a dark skin, dark hair. I can't remember the exact race it is in that world, but yeah, basically. And so he just sort of started to like him, and maybe he realized, maybe I just like you, and it's really cute. And there's like 5 romances in the book, and they're all adorable, and I love them all. And it's so I'm going to start the main series soon. I just was taking a break from it, but other than that, I haven't really been reading much. But that being said, thank you guys so much for joining us here on We Have Issues. As far as plugs go, you can check us out on Geek Elite Media, as always, at geekelitemedia.com, as well as at Geek Elite Media on Twitter. You can check me out at WHI Podcast Keith, our producer Liz at WHI Podcast Liz, and Josue at Josue Reads Josue. You can also check out the show itself at WHI Podcast on Twitter. You can check out our other show, Jukebox Vertigo, where we build a playlist every week. And you can check that out at Jukebox Vertigo on Twitter as well as on Geek Elite Media with everything else. This next episode that'll be releasing 2 days after this one is solo projects. And we had quite a bit of fun doing it. So I'm excited to see what you guys think. Other than that, I'm trying to think. Oh, let's plug Jose's Twitch.
Oh, yes.
Josue's Twitch. Josue plays Josue.
Yes, when I'm not dying from allergies and Twitch isn't being a little clusterfuck right now. Yeah. I'm twitch.tv/Josue plays Josue.
Be better, Twitch.
Yes, be better.
That's the hashtag that was around, so. But yeah, thank you so much again for joining us. We truly, truly, truly appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week for another stack of big comics. And don't forget to always geek out.
This concludes our broadcast.